Welcome to the inaugural season of Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball, presented by Active Family Chiropractic, Edward Jones, Gresham Ford, Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, the Gresham Police Officers Association, Lucky Pint, Metro East Web Academy, Northwest Accounting Partners, Olympic Gym, Riverview Community Bank, and State Farm. And now it's time for your Gresham Grey Wolves pregame show.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. I'm Evan Giddings, coming to you here in Gresham, Oregon on the campus of Mount Hood Community College at the always beautiful Osland Field as the Grey Wolves get set to take on the Victoria Harbor Cats in the second game of a three-game series. The Harbor Cats coming into the game are 2-2 to start the second half. Of course, 25-6 overall as they had an ungodly run of 19 games in a row in that first half. And your Gresham Grey Wolves are 6-1 to begin the second half and have moved into 500 overall, a 17-17 record combined for the first half in the first 7 games of this second half. And they remain atop the South Division to begin the second half of West Coast League play. They're able to get back in the win column, now taking 6 out of 7, had a 5-game winning streak to begin the second half. Did lose the last game of the road series against the Wenatchee Apple Sox. However, were able to get back in the win column last night. Didn't necessarily get up to an ideal start for the Grey Wolves as Victoria plated 2 runs in the top of the first and were able to add 4 more in the second inning behind a 2-run home run from Tommy Jew. But then Gresham was able to get a pair of runs back in the bottom of the first off a 2-out, 2 RBI triple from the bat of Ryan Smith. But unfortunately, the club still trailed 6-2 heading into that third inning. It was in this third inning when head coach Justin Barkis' team ended it with a little 4-0 run of their own. They were able to take advantage of a wild pitch, a pass ball, as well as a fielding error, a key one made by the second baseman for the Harbor Cats, Cameron Cannon, that allowed a couple of runs to come in. And the score was 6-3 after 3 innings, and back even at 6-6 through a total of 4. So they were able to get 3 runs through those last 2 innings. And then after Victoria was able to put 2 more up in the top of the 6th, it was the Grey Wolves' turn to once again respond. After both Dylan Doherty and Connor Zickafoose worked themselves aboard with walks, it was up to Josh Adams to deliver the big hit, which is exactly what he did. And we have a quote right here from Josh Adams talking about the situation that he came into the plate with. And he said, with runners on second and third base where with 2 outs, I knew I was going to get something down the middle of the plate. I just wanted to be on time and get my hands through the ball. And that is exactly what he did, delivering a 3-run right center field blast deep into the night here at Osland Field. It was a majestic type of home run, a no-doubter, gave the Gresham Grey Wolves the lead 9-8 at the time, which they did not relinquish for the rest of the ball game. Carter Boot came in after Spud Heidemann, the starter for Gresham, unfortunately was knocked out after just 3 1/3 inning, gave up all 6 earned runs. Boot was tagged with 2 earned runs, which I believe came in the 7th inning, but Boot, a all-around great performance out of the pen, and actually will be joining us later in the broadcast, I believe, in the 2nd inning. He'll be coming up in the booth and will be joining us for that whole 2nd inning. He pitched 4 2/3 innings, ended up picking up his first win as a Grey Wolf, and now the Grey Wolves have won 6 of their first 7 games to start this second half of West Coast League play. The hot start has them in first place atop the South Division with a full game lead over the second place Yakima Valley Pippins. And in addition to that, in addition to getting that win, they were able to also extend their overall really 1-run lead games in terms of the amount of wins they're able to get, advancing now to 6. In 1-run games, the Gresham Grey Wolves are 6-5, a very impressive mark, just over 500, proving that no matter what the type of situation, late in the game, if they have that 1-run lead, more than likely to get that victory. And now coming into the second game of this series, they have a 7-4 record in these second games, hoping to not only clinch the series, but also get 2 wins against a Victoria Harbor Cats team that only lost 5 games in the first half of the season. Like I said, they rattled off 19 in a row, and the Grey Wolves were a part of that streak. They were swept by Victoria back in early June, a part of the, I believe it was the 4th, 5th, and 6th wins, a part of that streak for Victoria. So the Gresham Grey Wolves able to kind of dish out some revenge last night and hoping to keep it going in order to complete a series win. versus the Northern Division, Victoria started out slow. They were only 3-7 coming into the second half, and all those games coming on the road. Unfortunately, for all the rest of the North Division, the Grey Wolves have simply caught fire. 6-1 against the second half, or against the Northern Division in the second half. Those are all the games they've played, and they'll get the first crack at the South Division next Wednesday on July 20th when they host the Corvallis Knights, who in fact were first half champs themselves. So if the Grey Wolves are able to prove something not only to Victoria and the rest of the league, but also to themselves tonight, they might be able to have some sort of momentum going into that next home series after they come back from the All-Star break. As for Game 2 tonight, it'll be the right-hander Rylan Luchek on the butt for Gresham. And Luchek is currently second in the West Coast League in ERA, posting a sparkling .75 ERA mark through 4 appearances. And in fact, he hadn't allowed a single earned run through his first 17 innings as a Grey Wolf. And you talk about those all-star numbers, certainly something that, had he qualified, probably would have got him a Southern Division all-star selection. However, coming on a bit late because he took a trip with his university attending Corbin, took a trip to Cuba that didn't allow him to start the season with the Grey Wolves, but since coming on has been nothing short of spectacular. He ranks second currently amongst all WCL starters with a .75 ERA, holding batters to a .159, .159 batting average against him, and has a whip, that's walks per 9 innings pitched, of just .67, only giving up 13 hits and surrendering just 3 walks. So Luchek will be on the bump as we're just about set for the national anthem here at Osland Field. We'll take a quick break here on the Gresham Grey Wolves pregame live, coming back likely with first pitch as well as lineups after this break.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum, ba-da-dum.
Live from Osland Field at Mount Hood Community College, this is Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball, presented by Active Family Chiropractic, Edward Jones, Gresham Ford, Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, the Gresham Police Officers Association, Lucky Pint, Metro East Web Academy, Northwest Accounting Partners, the Olympic Gym, Riverview Community Bank, and State Farm. Gresham Grey Wolves baseball starts now.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Gresham Grey Wolves baseball. I'm Evan Giddings coming to you here in Gresham, Oregon on the campus of Mount Hood Community College at the always beautiful Ashland Field as the Grey Wolves get set to take on the Victoria Harbor Cats in the second game of this three-game series. The Harbor Cats coming in, of course, 25-6, 2-2 to begin this second half, and the Grey Wolves at an outstanding 6-1 to begin this second half and find themselves atop the South Division to begin the second half of West Coast League play. And so, as we're just about ready to go, both teams are about set to take the field as the Grey Wolves begin to adapt themselves up down that third base line, just about ready to get into the pregame huddle. Then we'll take the field. So we'll get you lineups tonight for Victoria starting out, leading it off and playing left field. It was a late addition in Matt Lautz, as apparently A.J. Alcantara, who's supposed to play left field this evening, unfortunately will not be able to start. Came down with some form of illness, and I believe the official diagnosis was some sort of headaches and migraine. So A.J. Alcantara, unfortunately, out of the starting lineup. Insert Matt Lautz. He'll be playing left field and leading off. Batting second and playing second base, number 21, Griffin Anderchuk. Batting third and playing first base, number 29, Ben Polshuk. Batting cleanup and playing center field, number 17, Jake Stone. Batting fifth and playing catcher tonight, number 8, Joe Pryor. DHing and batting sixth, number 10, Cody Snyder. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, number 5, Tommy Jew. Batting eighth and playing right field, number 20, Austin Gabor. And batting ninth and playing third base, number 15, P.J. Floyd. With the starting pitcher for the Victoria Harbor Cats, number 42, right-hander, Austin Dondeville. And a very impressive resume that we'll get to once he comes out for the mound. However, for the Gresham Grey Wolves, out on the bump today, we talked about on the pregame show, Rylan Luchek, 6'1", 190-pound right-hander from Corbin University. He'll be on the bump for the Grey Wolves. And as for the defensive alignments, left to right in the outfield, it'll be Josh Adams, Ryan Smith, and Jeff Mitchell Jr. Left to right on the infield, Jack Johnson getting the start at third. We saw Zekafus over there at the hot corner in the first game of the series, so nice to see Johnson back in the lineup. Dylan Doherty over at shortstop, Curtis Perrin at second, and Drew Curtis at first base, with Matt Caver behind the plate, of course, for Luchek on the mound. And so now we're just a couple of moments away from first pitch here as Matt Lautz will step in the box. And Luchek, we talked about his tremendous resume he's already built early on for the Gresham Grey Wolves. Just a .75 ERA he comes into the game with, making his third start and fifth appearance. Has not gotten a loss. His last three outings, all of them he has gone 7 innings, and in all of them he has received the win. Of course, tonight will be his biggest test yet as the Victoria Harbor Cats hold the top offense in the West Coast League. As the first pitch of the ball game on the way is a fastball spot on the outside corner for strike one. Luchek certainly doesn't play around. As soon as he gets that ball right into the windup, as now the second pitch quickly on the way. Another fastball picked out of the dirt there from Cairo, 1-1. Another thing Luchek also has not done through his first 24 innings is surrender any walks and base runners in general, as he's only given up 13 hits and has only walked a total of 3. All 3 coming in his last 2 starts as now Latz shows bunt but pulls it back as he takes a fastball low, 2-1. Also has not surrendered more than 6 hits in any one of his starts. Now the 2-1 on the way. Fastball right there on the edge to even it up, 2-2. First batter of the ball game, and Matt Lautz. Center fielder Smith kind of shading him out towards right center now. That 2-strike shift, if you will, that the Grey Wolves have implemented so far this season. And now the 2-2 got him out front, swinging ground ball over to the second baseman Perrin. A funny hop, but able to bring it in and go to first base in time for the first out of this ball game. The Grey Wolves wearing their home alternate black uniforms. Grey Wolves across the chest in gold, kind of tapered in white, and with the Grey Wolf eyes right below the insignia on the front of the chest. As for the numbers on the back, in white with some gold trim, always white pants and always high pants, I should say. So the high socks for the Grey Wolves as the first pitch on the way to the second batter of the game, Griffin Anderchuk, is in for a strike. Kelowna in the same uniforms as last night. They're away navy blues. Victoria across the chest in white. lettered in kind of powder blue, as now Luchek misses with a breaking ball here outside 1-1. Every member of the Harbor Cats kind of not so much into the styling of their uniforms, the way that the Grey Wolves have a lot going on their chest. Just a simple Victoria, as now a breaking ball misses just a tad high there to Anderchuk 2-1. However, more of a classic look for Victoria. Rocking the gray pants, all their pants down. So no high socks, no stirrups. One member of the Grey Wolves, Curtis Parent, is now this one grounded to the shortstop. Doherty has it on the hop, over to first base in time. There's a nice stretch by Curtis, able to get the speedy Anderchuk. And there's quickly 2 away here in the top of the first inning. Along with Parent, also Doherty rocking the high stirrups with the white sanitaries underneath. Along with Ryan Smith. That appears to be the only member, as even the catcher, K-Row, has got those pants high, the long black socks. So now Ben Polshuk will come to the plate. Didn't see him in the first game for Victoria, but inserted right in the middle of that order. As the first pitch on the way here from Luchek is a curveball right over the heart of the plate, strike 1. Polshuk batting .310, leading the team with 5 home runs, so obviously getting the night off last night. Now stepping right in as that 3-hole hitter, and now taking another breaking ball. This one placed even better on the outside corner. Strike 2. Also second on the team, rather third with 15 RBIs. Second on the team with 14 walks earned is now the 0-2 on the way. Fastball high and outside. A waste pitch right there from Luchek, and it's 1-2. Polshuk making his 18th start. There's now the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball actually looked like a changeup that time, low in the dirt. As Luchek a little frustrated with himself. Nonetheless, still 2 outs and a 2-2 count. Definitely a right-hander with extremely good command. As now the Deuces pitch laced down the right field line, but going to slice foul there over the head of the first base coach. So we'll do it again, 2-2. In fact, the game that he got off last night was the only game so far in the second half that Polshuk has not started. 3 for 10 so far in this second half. In fact, has been hit by 3 pitches. And it would make sense as he likes to get right on top of the plate. Now K-Row going inside as this one is popped up right on the hands there of the batter Polshuk on the infield. And it's Jack Johnson calling for it. Going to make the catch. And a 1-2-3 top of the first inning here for Rylan Luchuk to begin the game. A great start for the Grey Wolves as now they will come to the plate. Dylan Doherty, Curtis Parent, and Jack Johnson will all lead off for the Grey Wolves when we come back here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. Still no score going into the bottom of the first.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust. And all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
And now as we return to action here in the bottom of the first, the Grey Wolves coming up to the plate. We'll get to that lineup in just a moment, but first, going to take some time. We talked about the all-star numbers that Rylan Luchek was putting up, but the actual all-star selection for the Victoria Harbor Cats, we mentioned his name last night, and Austin Dondeville, the right-hander, going to be on the bump tonight for Victoria, and he has been nothing short of near perfect in this first half, and one could make an argument that he would be the WCL selection for pitcher of the year at this point so far. Definitely the leader of the Victoria pitching staff and a clear ace so far this season, especially in that first half. His ERA of .63 leads the WCL, of course, by just a hair over Gresham's Luchuk, and his win-loss record is a perfect 4-0. So it's going to be Dondeville on the bump for the Harbor Cats as Dylan Doherty will come to the plate for the Grey Wolves. As for their lineup this evening, it's going to be Doherty, followed by Curtis Perrin, Jack Johnson, Josh Adams, Ryan Smith, Mark Cardinale, Jeff Mitchell Jr., Drew Curtis, and Matt Cairo, finishing it off for Gresham this evening. So Dondeville, as for his 2016 statistics, has gone 28 and 2/3 innings as the first pitch of the game for Dondeville is on the way here to Doherty. Strike right through the heart of the plate, 0-1. 22 strikeouts and just 5 walks, also just 9 hits allowed. So not only has he been dominant keeping runners off the board as he misses outside with a curveball here, 1-1, but also has been dominant in the sense that he hasn't even allowed very many base runners, just a total of 14. So less than 1 every 2 innings for Austin Dondeville. Purely pitching from the stretch. You see now misses a bit inside there to Doherty. Skips out of the way of that one. It's 2-1. And maybe not necessarily the most generic type of pitcher, as he is throwing from the stretch, and now misses again inside here off the edge of the plate, 3-1. As for the home plate umpire, it's going to be Colin Price. He's calling balls and strikes. And the field umpire, Ed Rye, that we saw last night behind the plate. 3-1 pitch on the way, and fastball on the outside edge called strike 2. So just from this first at-bat, it appears that Price's strike zone is going to be one that's kind of over the outside edge. He sets up right on the inside part of the plate and didn't give those calls earlier in that bat to Dondeville. Now the catcher set up again inside. Doherty goes inside out, lofts this one out to left center field. Playable for the center fielder, Jake Stone, who will take a couple of steps over and make the catch for the first out. So the scatter report coming in. Luchek versus Dondeville, going to be a pitching duel. Although the offense for both teams likely going to have to find ways to scrap together runs, which is the opposite of what we saw last night, a 9-8 hitting fest, a total of 24 hits between both teams. And now Curtis Perrin will step in. First pitch on the way to him is a fastball that misses high, ball 1. Total of 17 runs, like I mentioned, 24 hits, also 4 errors. So both teams being able to also take advantage of the mistakes of each team. As now Perrin swings over to the right side, and the ground ball hops up off the chest there. The first baseman, Polshuk. That's going to be kind of a toss-up there. We're not sure if it's going to be a hit, and it is ruled a hit, as that one took a nifty sort of turn off the lip there of the grass. Caught up off the chest of Ben Polshek, was unable to keep it in front. A diving effort there by the second baseman, Anderchuk, but he was unable to get it as well as the ball kicked into right field. So Curtis Perrin, with a little bit of help here from Oslin Field, has himself a single. So now that'll bring Jack Johnson to the plate. Also didn't make a start in the first game of this series. And he's batting an even .250. 26 games played, though. We've seen him quite a bit throughout this season. As he now laces one into right field, and the right fielder shading his eyes before makes the catch. A line shot right at him, and I thought he, for a second, lost it. Stuck that glove up to shade the sun, which is really poured in here at Oslin Field. But nonetheless going to go with the second out. And last night it was quite gloomy, with clouds kind of covering the entirety of not only Oslin Field, but Mountain Community College. But tonight we got clear skies, I should say. Not even a cloud anywhere close to this facility. It's a great sign. It's an even 75 degrees as well. Chance of rain and a great night for baseball. So now Josh Adams will step to the plate. Left fielder for Gresham had the big run that really turned the tide last night. Ended up giving the Green Wolves a victory. Now pick up 10 first base, but no tag there for Polshuk. And Adams, a guy that has been coming on as of late, did struggle a bit, and even alluded to some of his early struggles in a post-game interview with our social media manager, as well as co-managing editor, writer, want to call him Twitter genius. He now swings through the curveball inside 0-1. Connor Pendleton talked to him about that after the game. Said it kind of took him some time to adjust from metal to wood. As, of course, Adams coming from UC Santa Barbara made it all the way to the College World Series. Was a major focal point of that team as he now takes a backdoor breaking ball in for strike two. In fact, was a starter in that game. I can remember watching it clearly against Louisville in the bottom of the ninth when the Gauchos walked off in a walk-off grand slam. Unbelievable fashion off of what I believe was a first-round pick, the closer from Louisville. His name escapes me, but nonetheless, a first-round pick that was throwing upwards of 98 miles an hour, and they were able to come back and put together one of the greatest rallies, I believe, in College World Series history. As now Adams takes the fastball high and outside for ball one. So he was a part of that run. And since coming on with the Gray Wolves, he really struggled. I believe went 0 for his first 10. However, since getting that first hit over a week ago, really has found his own, especially on that road trip. And then, of course, moving into last night in his last 6 games, 10 for 23 for a .435 average with a home run and an outstanding 6 RBIs as he now takes a fastball that misses just off the edge and a bit low there to even the count, 2-2. So still no score, 0-0, as at this point in the game last night, there was already 4 runs of offense. 2 put up in the top of the first by Victoria and 2 in the bottom of the first by Gresham. So now Dondeville with the sign, always in the stretch. So now kicks and fires, runners off. Doesn't matter if that ball is right down the middle of the plate. Throw down to second, doesn't even matter. Nonetheless, Perrin would have been in there. However, Josh Adams will stand at home plate. Has a bit of a word for the home plate umpire, Colin Price, but nonetheless will retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on for the Gray Wolves as we head to the top of the second. It'll be Jake Stone, Joe Pryor, and Cody Snyder due up when we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. I'm Evan Giddings. Still no score after 1.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Gray Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know who would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Gray Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Gray Wolves will be a howlin' time.
And so now as we're set to begin this second inning, the Harbor Cats will come to the plate. 4-5-6 for them as Luchek back out of the bump for his second inning of work and made quick work of the first 3 batters for Victoria. Matt Lautz, Anderchuk, and Polshuk both had, or all 3 I should say, have really had trouble against Luchek as he has proven himself a sturdy starter in every sense of the term, as he has been out there, has gone 7 strong in each of his first 3 outings since coming on. Of course, just making his 3rd start, 4th appearance. So apparently, actually, the start against Cowlitz back on the 22nd, as he now misses with a fastball outside to Jake Stone, 1-0. That, in fact, was not a start, as he pitched 7 innings out of the bullpen, allowed his team to get a 7-5 victories. He now fires in a fastball ace right to the shortstop, Doherty. Picks it up, couple of hops over to first base in time, and that's 1 away here to begin this second. So Dylan Doherty already a couple of putouts over there, rather I should say assists, according to the proper fielding statistic. And also we mentioned how in the second inning we would have a special guest come on the broadcast, and it looks like he has just entered the booth. Carter Book entering the booth as the left-hander from Linfield College is making his way around the media booth, and we'll hopefully get him on the air as quickly as possible. Now the first pitch on the way here to the 5th batter of the ball game. Joe Pryor is a fastball on the outside edge for strike 1. And so Carter Book in the booth with us right now as he'll get on the mic here, try and figure this out for a moment. nonetheless. How's it going, Carter?
Not too bad. Nice day. Happy to be here. Happier to be in the booth than on the field. I think this is kind of my second home.
This one, a ground ball roped through the left side, going to get past the glove of Jack Johnson there into left field for a single here. So one out with a runner aboard. And Book in the booth, got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got a nice ring to it. We have I'm missing my boy Michael Clark. We've kind of made ourselves the self-proclaimed Clark and Carter Power Hour. Or in night games, we go by Carter and Clark After Dark. So we're kind of working on the name, but I guess Book in the booth is going to have to do without him.
Well, hopefully we can get him up here next time. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe
that's
something
true.
going
That's
on.
true. I might be able to bribe him up here with some snacks. He's pretty easy to catch.
Well, that's good. As the first pitch now on the way here to Cody Snyder's, is taken for a strike on the outside edge. And so you went 4 2/3 last night, ended up getting your very first victory as a Gresham Grey Wolf. How did that feel, picking up your first win?
It felt very good. I mean, especially in a tough league like this against the best team that through the first half. It was a good win. I mean, I was happy with how I threw individually, but then as a team, I thought we really rallied around a tough performance. Came down from a big deficit and had a big home run from Josh Adams to send us over the top. But I mean, felt good to get my first win. But then more importantly, that was a great team win by us last night.
And how do you kind of figure, as this one's fouled off for an 0-2 count, how do you kind of get into a rhythm and sort of figure out the kind of the tempo of the ball game as this is popped up over the right side, shallow right field, going out as Perrin. He's going to make the call for it and make the grab for the second out. So kind of talk about how when you're in the bullpen sort of getting ready, I saw you start to warm up as early as the second inning and ended up coming in the fourth. So how do you kind of gauge that tempo and sort of where you're at during the ball game?
It's pretty tough. It's being a reliever is kind of a new role to me. I'm usually used to being a starter during the college season, but I mean, from what I've picked up, you just got to be ready at all times. So I mean, when you're when you're warming up before the game, you got to be ready to go in at any second during the game, any inning. And then once you see the starter starting to get in some trouble, that's when you kind of got to start getting mentally prepared. And then once you're in the bullpen, I mean, you know that you can go in at any second. So you just got to make sure you're ready at any point. And from there, I mean, then you just got to trust your stuff. I mean, you're not going to have as much time to warm up, as much time to get mentally and physically prepared. So just by staying ready, it kind of eliminates having any hiccups going into the field.
And after a first pitch strike here, this ball gets away from the catcher, Matt Cairo, likely going to go as a wild pitch. And it, in fact, is ruled a wild pitch. So the runner on first, Joe Pryor, will move up to second base. And you mentioned being a starter at your college, of course, attending Linfield College. And I went to Willamette University, played baseball there, so I know a little bit about that.
A little bit of a rivalry here in the booth, fans. You can tell there's some bad blood going on in between us, but that's okay. We're going to keep it friendly for the air.
As this fastball misses low and away. But, of course, you guys have a Bearcat on your roster, Ty Wyatt. So how is that going?
Well, I told this story last time. I was on the booth.
Okay.
I gave up what must have been a 500-foot homer to Ty during the spring. I got him. I struck him out the first time I faced him, but then he clearly won the battle his second AB. But, I mean, him and I played on the same summer team last year for the Klamath Falls Gyms, and so him and I were good buddies, and we had one more kid from Willamette, Jackson Watt, with us. So, I mean, it was fun to see them during the year because, I mean, a lot of these kids that you play against or that are on your team are all big D1 guys, so you don't see too many D3 guys, and it's nice to have some even in your own league that you can see during the year. And then when I found out Ty was going to be back on the Grey Wolves and we were going to be on the same team again, that was obviously very exciting because it's always nice to have Ty in your lineup and not have to face him, as I found out the hard way.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I remember during a spring practice game, he actually hit a comebacker off my leg.
I imagine you had to take like a month or two off. That just broke the tibia.
Yeah, there was a bruise there for quite some time as Tommy Jew laces one into right, caught right there by Jeffrey Mitchell. Jr. That conclude the side. So you're going to stay on with us for the bottom of the inning, correct?
Yeah, I got nothing else to do.
Awesome. So we'll take a quick break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live. Here, don't go in, or again, Evan Giddings and Carter Book in the booth here for you with the Gresham Grey Wolves.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children.
And now back here in the booth to begin this bottom of the second inning, Evan Giddings alongside Carter Book, left-handed reliever for the Gresham Gray Wolves. And something we kind of talked about during the break here, your college experience at Linfield College. So tell us a little bit about that, as well as where you attended college before.
So I go to Linfield College in McMinnville, Oregon. It's about an hour away from here. It's a great place to go to school, and a phenomenal baseball program. Won the national championship in 2013.
Yep.
Beat up on Willamette every couple of years.
More than every couple of years.
But I mean, it's a great experience. It's fun to be close to home, to have family, grandparents, brother, everybody come out to watch my games. Oh,
Now Ryan Smith
Leave
sends a
us,
hot
ball.
shot over there to left field, over the
going.
head of the left fielder, Matt Lautz. Going to get on to second base at least as Ryan Smith begins this inning with a bang. Not waiting at all. First pitch as this ball will dribble into the infield. Finally picked up by Jew, but what a swing there from Ryan Smith.
heck of a swing there. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a great place. I love going there. And then my freshman year, I went to Concordia, Wisconsin, where I met Spud. Him and I became good friends up there. Had a lot of family history up there, so that's why I decided to go there. But I mean, I love being close to home. Love Linfield. But both places were great to go and have been very instrumental in kind of growing up as a baseball player and my studies.
And now Mark Cardinale, the designated hitter this evening for Gresham, coming to the plate, taking a first pitch curveball in for a strike. And now something I've kind of noticed about this Grey Wolf team, you guys are obviously extremely close together. So talk about a little bit about that camaraderie. And you've alluded to it a little bit already during this broadcast, but it seems like you guys really have a tight chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, this is I think that's kind of how it is all over the West Coast League, but I think we're especially strong case of it. I mean, you take top baseball players from around the country, from these top schools, occasionally some small D3 schools, and I mean, you throw them in a room and just kind of hope for the best. But I mean, everybody's kind of got that same mentality where they want to grow as a baseball player and be the best that they could possibly be. And when you are around guys like that, everybody's kind of got that same attitude and same mentality. I mean, you just you learn to mesh, and it meshes quite well. And we're like, especially with our bullpen, we're all very close. I mean, we hang out every single day. I mean, when you're spending 6 hours with somebody at the field every single day, you kind of have to force to be best friends. But I mean, we just got lucky with a great group of guys who, everybody bought into what we're doing and kind of bought into having fun as well as playing some ball. So it makes it a lot of fun to come to the park every single day.
Well, it's certainly good to hear as Cardinale now in a 1-2 count. Donville to pitch on the way. Breaking ball laced into left field, down the left field line. Definitely going to get over the head there of Matt Lautz. That's going to score Ryan Smith easily as he can walk home from second. And Cardinale coasting up the second base of the double. So back-to-back doubles here to begin the inning against Austin Donville, who only surrendered 9 hits coming into the ball game, and 2 right there for the Grey Wolves have them on the board 1-0.
Yeah, that's something special that we got going on right now. We felt that at the beginning of the year we kind of had our pitching on top of it, but we're struggling at the plate. But lately we feel like our hitting has really been carrying us. I mean, especially last night, put up 9 runs when our staff gave up 8. So, I mean, with our hitting coming around, we really feel like we can do some damage in this league.
Yeah, and it seems like you guys even sort of play off each other where the offense will come up, put up a couple runs, and turn it over. The defense is now a sacrifice bunt attempt pulled back by Mitchell Jr., taken for strike 1.
Yeah, no, I know for me last night, I mean, I gave up a 2 spot with 2 outs in the 6th, I believe, and then Josh Adams comes up, hits a 3-run bomb to give us a 1-run lead, and from there, I mean, kind of fed off that energy that the offense applied and said, okay, we're not giving up any more runs.
Yeah,
I mean, when both are clicking like that, it's tough. It makes us a tough team to beat.
Yeah, and especially you talked about picking each other up, and that was something, unfortunately, I was unable to go on the road trip, but something I heard about from our other broadcaster, Fletcher Like, who I've heard you guys have become relatively close with.
Yeah.
And he talked about that as well, was telling me how really no matter what situation, early or late in the game, not only do you guys not falter mentally, but it seems like you really have that next play mentality, which has obviously helped you in this 6 out of 7 game stretch.
Oh yeah, I mean when you're playing in a league like this with guys as talented as they are, all you can do is you can't focus on a mistake or can't focus on the last pitch. All you can do is focus on what you can do next and what you can do to help the team. And I mean, we just managed to keep our energy high all game and stay pretty level, not get too high, not get too low, and it's obviously helped us and it's kind of shown these past couple games and allowed us to get on this winning streak.
Yeah. As Donneville back in the stretch. Of course, Cardinelli on second base after that RBI double. And now the 0-2 pitch grounded over to the right side. Going to get the job done as the second baseman Anderchuk will pick it up and go over to first. But Cardinelli moving over to third. And these are the type of productive outs, productive plays that we've now grown accustomed to over this last week from the Gray Wolves. Kind of an unselfish mentality there by Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. at the plate, just going the other way, giving himself up.
Oh, yeah. We've been putting together a lot of quality at-bats. I mean, a quality at-bat isn't always a ball roped to the gap or, a home run, but it can be just something as simple as moving a runner to third with no outs or a sac fly or a sac bunt, and we feel like we've been putting those together well lately.
And now with Victoria bringing the infield in, it's going to be Drew Curtis to the plate, coming up taking ball one off the outside edge, and obviously runs in a game like this with Luchuk on the mound as well as the top starter for Victoria, Donneville, going to be hard to come by. Of course, the Gray Wolves already with one as another breaking ball misses outside. So it seems like you guys really have developed a way that you can win any type of ball game. We've talked about it tonight in terms of the pitching with Luchek. I talked about a little bit before in our pregame and his unreal statistics.
Oh, yeah.
But in this type of ball game against a guy like Donneville, you got to think that there's going to be multiple ways that you can try and come out here and win this ball game.
Yeah, I mean, we're confident in whatever type of game it ends up being. We're confident we're going to win. So, I mean, in a game like tonight, I mean, we got one run in the first inning? What inning? Nope.
Bottom second. There you go.
We got to run in the second. And I mean, I know our whole team is confident. Our whole team is confident that Ryland's going to shut this team out and go 9 innings. We kind of have that confidence, but we also have the confidence in knowing, well, if it's a high-scoring ball game, we're going to have both, the offense to put us ahead and the bullpen to close it out. So, I mean, we're confident in either situation.
And that confidence, do you believe that really is what has changed the most about this team? Coming from the first half where you guys were, I believe, at 4 or 5 games under 500, and now, right as you guys began the second half, started off against 2 quality teams in Kelowna and Wenatchee, as now the 2-2 pitch is sprayed over to the right and out of play. 2 quality teams was able to get the sweep against Kelowna at Kelowna and then take 2 out of 3 from a very good Wenatchee Apple Sox team.
Yeah, I mean, when starting the second half, you have all your guys. Everybody's, molded and bonded together, and now we kind of understand the approach and what it takes to play in this league. And with that kind of confidence, all it took was just a couple of wins to, get it going. And once you start rolling, you can't really stop a team like that.
That's very true, as the 2-2 pitch misses just off the edge to run the count full here against Curtis. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming up. And speaking of streaks, I mean, Victoria went on an unreal one, 19 games, and I know you guys were a part of that. Unfortunately,
feels good to be a part of history.
As this one is dropped into right field, a sinking line drive, a diving play, but he cannot come up with it. Austin Gabor laid out, but it tipped off the edge of his glove, and that's going to be another one from the Gray Wolves as Drew Curtis singles in Mark Cardinelli from third base. Now 2-0 Gresham. Wow. Yeah, a nice piece of hitting right there from Curtis in a full count. Able to go the other way. Get one right under the glove there of Gabor.
Yeah, Drew's a guy, I mean, he shows up to the field every day ready to work. He's run into some struggles lately. But, I mean, he shows up every single day ready to work. And, I mean, that kind of shows there just a good piece of hitting there with 2-2 count. A lot of strikes. Did well with taking it the other way.
Yeah, nice breaking ball off the edge. Able to slap it into right field as now Matt Carroll will come to the plate for his first at-bat. And he's first pitch swinging. Heads up Justin Barkis down the third base line there as that one goes foul. Yeah, but just in general, the streak that they win on the 19 games, so how does it feel to not only get back in the win column but against a team like that, but also give yourself a chance to take a series from these guys? They didn't lose one throughout the first half.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is – to be able to come in here and beat a team like that, I mean, that's big in itself. But if we were able to take a series, which we really feel like we can, playing at the rate that we are right now, I mean, that would be huge for confidence and morale going on because we feel like, hey, if we can take a series from the team that was the best team in the first half, why can't we be the best team in the second half? And that's really our mentality right now.
As now Dondeville in the set and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball just misses outside there. And the strike zone was a bit of a topic of conversation last night and of course you being on the mound, I'm sure got to experience it full force. How were you able to battle through that? Ed Rye behind the home plate last night, and it was kind of drawing frustrations from both teams. So how were you able to battle through that?
Well, personally, I think I got a little lucky because when Spud was in there for those first 3 innings, I think he really got the toughest zone and had to throw it into a shoebox for it to be a strike. But then as the game went on and, their coach started to chirp a little bit at the ump, I think he started to expand my zone a little bit. And so I think I got a few calls in the outside corner that ended up helping us out. But, I mean, in a situation like that, all you can do is try and be mentally tough and just keep pitching your game and just hope the ump will adjust and that hitters will get themselves out. And that's really all you can do in a situation like that.
Yeah, there were a couple ejections on the Harbor Cats side as the 2-2 now on the way to Cairo. Curveball blocked in the dirt there from Pryor. Maybe you can help me out with this a little bit. I was trying to figure out who on their team was ejected in terms of the assistant coaches. My guess was Meggs.
I just know one. So they had one assistant coach tossed early on. Well, so they had the head coach got a warning the very first pitch of the game. I don't know if you saw that. Very first pitch of the game, he's already arguing balls and strikes, gets a warning right away. So that kind of was a preface for the entire game. But then the assistant coach got tossed for something. I don't even know what. And then
that was when he came out to the mound and said something. As Matt Carroll works a walk. He said something when he came out to the mound in a situation right now where Greg Merritt will come out, and of course the coach from last night not allowed to be on the field, so Merritt taking over these duties.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to get tossed here. But yeah, so then what? Then the head coach gets tossed in the 9th for arguing, and then one of their players says something to the ump as he's throwing the head coach out, some words that can't be said on radio, and then he throws him out.
A magical 4-letter word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a couple of them. But so I mean that's the most ejections I've ever seen in a game.
Yeah, and it seemed like not only were they in somewhat of succession, but a very nonchalant ejections from. He just kind of pointed at him, and said, "You all right? You're gone."
Yeah, personally, I prefer a more theatrical ejection. I want something that gets the fans going,
Yeah, it gets the fans going. It also makes it easier for up here in the booth to figure out who's actually tossed.
It must be a little tough for you guys.
You're trying to figure out because he just pointed in the dugout and said, "You're gone."
They gotta have some thought for the radio people.
Of course.
It's selfish.
As now Doherty will come to the plate, taking ball 1 in the dirt. Now with runners on second and first with 1 out, and Dondeville beginning to struggle a little bit. Only has walked 5 hitters so far. Of course, number 6 coming to Matt Cairo in the previous at-bat. As Grey Wolves offense looking potent here in the bottom of the second. Now the pitch on the way here to Doherty. Takes it inside. And this is really something that I've kind of noticed not only about Doherty but as well as Perrin. It seems like whenever they're not able to really get it going in terms of finding barrel, they have no problem taking ball 4.
Yeah, well, we kind of like to joke about Doherty and Perrin being perfect draft players for the Oakland Athletics because Billy Bean Billy Bean loves people who gets on base.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, both those guys have better eyes than guys I've ever seen where they're just so balanced in their approach. And, I mean, they feel no need to try and, take a ball over the fence if it's not there.
Yeah.
And they're willing to wait for their pitch, which is a trait of a really great hitter.
And now the 3-0 pitch. Of course, he finds himself in a 3-0 count. Takes for a strike here, 3-1.
I think this is a battle between Cal Poly teammates. I think the pitcher
couple
goes
of
to Cal
Mustangs.
Poly.
Oh, he does. That is correct.
A lot of bragging rights on the line here. If you walk him, you're done for.
Yeah. Well, he did get hit last night. That could happen as well. 3-1 pitch on the way
there
now. Mowing inside, and Doherty does what he does best. Just take ball 4 to load the bases. So back-to-back walks here from Dondeville, and maybe, like you said, the teammate-to-teammate connection maybe getting in his head a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, through 30 innings, he'd only walked 5 batters, so obviously something going on.
Third of the night, second of the night?
The second in a row, in fact. Yeah, second of the night.
He's struggling.
Cairo in his last at-bat.
The Grey Wolves faithful are getting in his head. They're letting him have it.
Well, they certainly are out here tonight, which is a good thing to see.
Really good crowd tonight.
Almost nearly filled over to the left side. Down in front here of the broadcast booth is now Curtis Perrin to the plate. Laces one back off the screen for strike 1. And the crowd kind of varying throughout the season, but We saw a big crowd, especially on the 4th of July weekend, that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday series, and now good to see them back out here at Osland Field.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good energy from whether it's, we have 1,000 people or we have just a couple of hundred. They always bring good energy that, we're able to feed off of. So, I mean, it's just great to have some people out here. And I mean, I think the community is starting to really rally around this team. And I mean, the more successful we are, obviously, the more people want to come to games. It's a funny story how that works out.
Winning cures all.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we're confident. There looks like everybody's coming around to it.
Now the 0-1 on the way, ripped down the right field line. Excuse me there, as this one's going to go for a foul ball. Strike 2. Curtis Perrin, of course, with a single already tonight. He was able to get one through the left side of the infield, I believe. Or actually, no. In fact, no. That was the one that chipped off the glove in the chest of the first baseman, Ben Polshik. So now with one out, the base is loaded, an opportunity for the Grey Wolves to already add another run. They have the 2-0 lead. It's now a 1-2 pitch and taken inside there. Looked like something off speed.
Yeah.
As Dondeville, now a pitcher that pitches from the stretch the entirety of the game, even when there's no runners on base. Have you ever had to think about or going through something like that?
I've tried it. For very brief stints. But personally, I just like the windup. I'm able to.
This one swung on and missed, tied him up with an inside fastball. Good spot there from Dondeville, as now there's 2 down.
I personally prefer the windup. I'm able to use my high leg kick, which I think works as an advantage to me. It's just an extra something that hitters have to deal with and kind of throws them off, I feel like. Because even when you throw an 83-mile-per-hour fastball that's pretty straight, you need whatever advantage you can in this league.
That was good. That was going to be my next question. Where did you develop that high leg kick?
I don't know. So in high school, I mean, I was pretty normal. But then when a big pitch would come, when I felt like I really needed to bump up the velocity, my leg kick would get higher and higher. And then by the time I was going into my junior year, it turned into what it is now, and it's just kind of always stuck.
Certainly some flexibility needed for that.
Well, it's weird because I don't if I bent down right now, I don't think I could touch my toes. So I think I kind of just black out, and that's.
So it's only with the right leg.
Only with the right leg, yeah.
The left leg doesn't go above the belt.
No.
And so now Jack Johnson to the plate in a 1-0 count, and a pitch on the way here from Dondeville. Breaking ball taken for a strike, 1-1. And at least looking through this order, we talked about it a little bit before, but also the offense and the potency of that offense. I mean, you got your 2 All-Stars, Ryan Smith and Mitchell Jr., hitting 5th and 7th tonight in this order. I think that speaks volumes as to what you guys can do with the bat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you have 2 of the best hitters in the entire league hitting 5 and 7, obviously you have some power and just good people who can get on base up and down the rest of the lineup. So, I mean, we're very confident in everything that we do. And, I mean, it really just speaks volumes to, how good of a team this really is. And how, I mean, anybody in this lineup could, put a ball in the gap, put a ball over the fence, and that's something really special. And I think you really see that around this whole league. But I mean, this team especially has that kind of power.
Definitely, especially gap-to-gap power. The home runs haven't come in the volume, I think, that maybe you guys would have expected looking at this roster on paper as Johnson takes ball 2. But nonetheless, still finding ways to put runs across, as we've seen this inning with back-to-back doubles from Smith and Cardinale.
Right. Well, I think the lack of home runs is because I haven't been getting my ABs. But other than that, I mean, it's a tough park to play in. Plays pretty big, so we're happy with our doubles and singles and just whatever can get the job done.
Yeah, it says 375 to center, but I would say it plays more like 390. Is this one a broken bat line drive softly over the left side, caught there by P.J. Floyd, as that's going to end the inning. And is going to end our time in the booth. It's been great to have you on.
Thanks for
having me.
The
left-hander Carter Book for the Gresham Grey Wolves. 4 2/3 innings last night, got his first win. Joining us here in the Gresham Ford broadcast booth, and that will conclude our Book in the Booth segment. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Go Wolves. Thanks for having me.
Now we'll take a quick break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. As the Grey Wolves plate 2 here in the bottom of the second, we head to the third. I'm Evan Giddings. Don't go anywhere.
Time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging.
And so now we're just about set to begin this top of the third inning here at Osland Field. Coming up for the Harbor Cats, it'll be the 8-9-1 hitters, Austin Gabor, P.J. Floyd, followed by the top of the order, and Matt Lautz. Luchek, so far so good, has only allowed one hit through the first 7 batters in the first 2 innings as he's back down the bump for his third inning of work. And now showing bunt right here is the left-hander Austin Gabor taking strike 1 as he pulled the bunt back. Gabor kind of making a spot start, if you will. Mentioned before the game started as Luchuk misses outside of an off-speed pitch here, 1-1. As I mentioned before the game even started, A.J. Alcantara, was cut from the lineup of the Victoria Harbor Cats, or I should say was kind of moved out of the starting lineup as Luchuk misses outside here, 2-1. And the reason for that was experienced some sort of headache, migraine-type symptoms, and so unfortunately could not make it. Apparently he got a shot this morning as he felt ill last night, but did not do enough as now Gabor laces one back up the box right past the glove of Luchek underneath the leather and into center field, as that's going to be a base hit to begin this top of the third inning.
Number 15, P.J. Floyd.
So Gabor, who started last night and quite possibly was the reason, or rather the Alcantara illness was the reason he started last night. He went 1 for 3 and an RBI and a walk. And now picks himself a base knock here to begin the third. So that'll bring P.J. Floyd to the plate, who's making his first start in this series. Batting .339. So maybe a couple of these hitters that we didn't see in the first game of the series as Luchuk misses high and outside here with a fastball 1-0. Maybe some of those batters, such as Floyd, Anderchuk. We saw him pinch hit last night, Anderchuk did, but not in the starting lineup. So maybe getting some of those big bats back in the order for Victoria as they look for a little more offense here against the so far dominant Rylan Luchuk. Now quick pickoff attempt over to first base. Back in safely though is Gabor. Looking like he might have had to get on his horse there a little bit. A quick tag there from Curtis, but unfortunately not in time. The lights have begun to come on a bit here, although no nightfall yet, as the left-hander Floyd pops one up over the left side. Going to get out of play, foul to even the count at 1-1. And interesting, the lights should come on. I believe they're timed. However, the sun's still beating down upon Osland Field, using a couple of the trees here over the left side to create that sort of streak of sun rays out beyond the field. The only one affected by it right now is the right fielder Mitchell Jr. as Luchuk fires a fastball on the inside edge for strike 2. So Floyd mentioned the .339 batting average, 19 hits and 56 at-bats. Also 5 RBIs, has 1 home run and 1 double as well. Although has struck out 20 times, which is most on the team, as he now takes a breaking ball just inside. Thought Price was going to pull the trigger for the home plate umpire, but has been relatively consistent with the strike, so not giving the inside edge. That's something I found somewhat interesting with home plate umpires and where they station themselves relative to the home plate, and how that affects their strike zone, as now the 2-2 pitch, another curveball, nearly got a piece of the batter Floyd, but nonetheless just missed him, and now the count runs full. So the Grey Wolves with a 2-0 lead off the bats of Smith, Cardinale, and Drew Curtis. A couple of doubles coming from Smith and Cardinale, and an RBI single from Drew Curtis to bring in the ladder run is now a fastball on the inside corner. Ring him up, strike 3 called. Luchek beautifully placed on the inside edge there as Floyd thought he had ball 4. And in fact, the runner on first, Gabor, even took a step towards second base, but quickly hustled back, as that would call strike 3 by Colin Price there. 1 down here in the top of the 3rd. So after a leadoff base hit and a full count backwards K, there's 1 out here for Matt Lautz with a runner on first. He's 0 for 1. Had a ground out to the second baseman Perrin to begin the ball game. Now Luchek working from the stretch. Quick pickoff attempt over to first base. Not in time there as Curtis applies the tag, but the Gabor again back in foot first. A very quick pickoff move there by Luchek. Definitely under 1 second, which is where you want to be, as now he misses with a changeup low, blocked nicely by Cairo for ball 1. Lautz last night 2 for 5 with a couple of runs scored, as that average bumped up now to 361. Officially at the head of the Victoria offense in terms of leaders in batting average is now the 1-0. Fastball right there at the knees on the outside corner to even it up at a ball and a strike. Has 13 hits now coming into play, 4 RBIs, 9 runs scored after being plated twice last night. And such a close ball game, 9-8. The Gray Wolves able to grind out a victory as this one bounced in the dirt and blocked beautifully by Cairo. Looked like he caught that one either off the jaw as he threw his helmet off and was sort of readjusting and shaking his head as if he got hit, possibly in the mask. That curveball bounced a good 4 or 5 feet in front of home plate. Is now Colin Price, the home plate umpire, checking up on Cairo, making sure he's all right. Very classy move there by the home plate umpire. Nonetheless, he looks okay, as it does appear that that ball did hit right off the front of his mask. So if you can't put your body in front of it, I guess you got to get your head in there. There's a 2-1 now on the way. Fastball that misses outside low, 3-1. Middle infielders pinching, hoping for that, what seems like always elusive double play ball. Outfielders playing relatively straight up, although maybe a bit more towards the foul lines, as that gap in left and right center field looks pretty large. And now a fastball that misses just off the edge there. Cairo thought he had the frame to bring it back in, but nonetheless, ball 4 called here to Matt Lautz. And that's just the 4th walk of the season here from Rylan Luchuk. As now the runners on second and first, still with 1 out, and Griffin Anderchuk coming to the plate. And so we talked about in the last inning and the emphasis along with Carter Book, who is in for that second inning. Hopefully we'll have that inning cut up for you, something you can go and check out on our website, maybe post it on our Twitter page, at Gresham Gray Wolves. As now the first pitch on the way here to Anderchuk is an off-speed pitch that misses high and outside, 1-0. And so we talked with Book about many of things. Quite an entertaining guy, and definitely one of the more vocal members of this Gray Wolf roster. But we also talked about Dondeville, as now this one popped up over to the right side by Anderchuk and out of play, 1-1. We talked about how Austin Dondeville had only walked 5 batters so far through his 20 2/3 innings entering play. And in fact had back-to-back walks there in the bottom of the second that sort of elongated that inning and nearly fueled another rally there for the Gray Wolves. As it loaded the bases, unfortunately, the Gray Wolves unable to take advantage of it, as now Anderchuk will pop one up again, almost in the same spot off to the right side. Going to go for strike 2. Unfortunately, the Gray Wolves unable to take advantage, in fact ended up straining the bases loaded, but still were able to strike for 2. And with your ace Luchek on the mound, or at least has been ace-like over his last 3 starts, 3 appearances, I should say, making his 3rd start. He now misses low and inside here to even up the count at 2-2. A 2-run ball game in the favor of the Gray Wolves. When you have your ace on the mound, those 2 runs play very important, and I'm sure the reason why Victoria in a situation like this with less than 2 outs and a runner in scoring position would really like to find a way to scrap that run home, at least cut into this lead. As now the 2-2 pitch on the way, curveball that misses just a bit high, possibly a bit outside there, as Luchuk doesn't know where that pitch missed. Frankly, I don't either, as it looked good. nonetheless is going to run the count full. And so 2 hits for the Harbor Cats, one of which coming in this inning. A total of 4 so far for the Gray Wolves. 3 of them coming in the previous frame. There's now the payoff pitch on the way. Fastball popped up over beyond the screen and foul off to the right, and we'll do it again. Last time he found himself in a full count, Luchek was able to strike out P.J. Floyd looking on an inside fastball. We'll see if he goes back in there here. Really don't want to find yourself in a bases-loaded situation with less than 2 outs, and especially with the 3-hitter Ben Polshuk coming to the plate. He's on deck. So now Luchek with his sign. Comes set, kicks and fires. Fastball low in the dirt, blocked there by Cairo, but doesn't matter as Anderchuk will take his base. So in a similar fashion to Dondeville, after getting 1 out, surrenders back-to-back walks here. Of course, Dondeville threw to Cairo and Doherty. They were able to reach base, and now in the form of Lautz and Anderchuk, they find themselves on base via four balls. So now Gabor on third, Matt Lautz on second base, and Anderchuk on first. And that will bring Polshuk to the plate, and Luchek's really going to have to bear down here. Johnson along with the first baseman Curtis. So first and third being drawn in on the grass, likely going to try and get that force to the plate as this one is popped up. Shallow fly ball into left center field. He's going to grab it. Likely Smith, he'll take the throw. They're going to test him. Throw coming into third base as they'll concede the run. So 1 run will come in the form of Gabor as he scores on the sacrifice fly there from Ben Polshuk. Cutting into the lead, now 2-1. Matt Lautz has to hold up at second base from the strong arm from Smith, and probably the right play there. Understanding that it was going to be a bang-bang play at the plate either way, likely would not have gone in the favor of the Gray Wolves as it was hit into shallow medium left center field. And Smith, although with a strong arm, Gabor does run well. So now with 2 outs, Jake Stone coming to the plate, left-hander, takes a fastball right there on the outside corner for strike 1. Stone 0 for 1. Batting cleanup this evening for the Victoria Harbor Cats. Batting just .288. Relative to the rest of the lineup, not as well as he grounds this one over the left side. Going to be picked up by Jack Johnson on the forehand, going to first base in plenty of time to beat Jake Stone. So after 1 run here for the Harbor Cats, comes in on a sacrifice fly. Gabor comes in to cut into this deficit. 2-1 now, the Gray Wolves had the lead as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning here at Osland Field. It'll be Adams, Smith, and Cardinale when we return from this break on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live. I'm Evan Giddings, and the Gray Wolves had the lead 2-1.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Gray Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Gray Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Gray Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
And so now we're just about set to go here in this bottom of the 3rd with Adams coming to the plate for Gresham. The left fielder, of course, delivered the biggest hit last night. A 3-run home run out to right center field to give his team the lead at 9-8, and that is exactly the score of that ball game. Michael Clark was able to come in after Adams delivered a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 7th inning. And then Michael Clark was able to come on in the 9th following Carter Book, who he had just up here in the booth back in the 2nd. Michael Clark received his 2nd save. Actually, check that 3rd save of the season for the Gray Wolves. This is now the first pitch on the way here to Adams. Is a fastball taken on the outside edge for strike 1. So Adams collecting his first home run on the season for Gresham. In fact, I'm checking the statistics right now. Only 3 long balls. That was just the 3rd one of this summer season for Adams, as well as the rest of the Grey Wolves, as he takes a ball outside here, 1-1. The other 2 home runs, in fact, came in one game, both from Jack Johnson as well as Nick Snyder. Johnson in the lineup. Snyder, who we saw last night, is now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Is a breaking ball grounded over the right side, but going to kick foul. And a nice play made over there by the first base coach, Michael Pena. Of course, the infielders coach, batting coach, recruiting coordinator as well for the Gresham Grey Wolves. Got some slick hands over there. Just a couple years removed from playing independent professional ball. Still got some nice hands over there on the right side. So nonetheless, Don DeVille will turn in that ball for some new leather as Adams will prepare to step back in the box. And a 1-2 count. And it's good to see Adams really relishing that spot in the middle of the order. We've seen him a couple times now in the cleanup position as the 1-2 on the way, fought off over into the left side, and that pop-up is going to get out of play as someone's going to have themselves a souvenir. I believe kids night at the ballpark as we see plenty of youngsters scurrying around Osland Field as well as the general parking lot here at Mount Hood Community College. So some nice family fun well done, you could say. As now the 1-2 pitch on the way here. A fastball inside corner, ring him up. As Josh Adams didn't like the call, but that one appeared to be right there on the inside edge, and back-to-back strikeouts looking for Adams here as he goes down for the 2nd time on strikes. First time was to end the 1st inning, and now to begin the 3rd here as it'll be up to Ryan Smith to try and get things going with 1 out. Ryan Smith, of course, one of the 2 All-Stars mentioned previously on the roster for Gresham, named to the South Division All-Star roster. Batting .315 coming into play. Leads the team in at-bats and tied with 35 hits. Although does lead the team by a large margin with 18 RBIs. The next most is Michael Breen, who unfortunately was done for the season. He's got 10. So Ryan Smith, the first pitch was a ball, and now the 2nd pitch on the way here from Don DeVille is a fastball right down the plate. Smith pops it up over to the right side, and drifting into foul territory is the first baseman Polshuk as he will make the catch. And Smith frustrated himself as he looked like he got a pitch to hit there. Kind of shaking his head as he'll head back to the dugout as there's now 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. So now the DH, Mark Cardinale, coming to the plate for Gresham. Had a double, an RBI double in his first at-bat as Smith, who just popped out, came back in to score in the 2nd inning. That was the first run of the ball game for Gresham. As now he's first pitch swinging here, pops this one back up and over beyond our heads. As it one looks like it might have got out beyond the concession stand. Nonetheless, he's going to go for a strike 1. So Cardinale trying to find a way to get on base here with 2 outs. Mitchell Jr. on deck, leading the Grey Wolves offense as this one hits him. Looked like it skimmed off the elbow pad, the Evo shield over on the inside corners. Cardinale wasn't even sure it got him. And Colin Price, the home plate umpire, did make the call. And no discussion there from the Victoria dugout or the catcher, so it must have appeared to have clearly clipped the jersey there of Cardinale. And like I mentioned, trying to find a way to get on base, does exactly that. Earns himself a hit by pitch, now bringing Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. to the plate. And so Mitchell Jr., right-handed batter, a Golden Bear from University of California, Berkeley, takes a first pitch curveball in for strike 1. And ever since that 4th of July game here at Gresham, he's been sporting that United States of America batting tape along the handle. He now sprays this one through the right side. Going to get into right field as Gabor will play it into the infield. They're going to have to hold Cardinale at 2nd base, but nonetheless a little 2-out action here from Gresham as Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. continues the hot hitting with a single through the right side. He's now 1 for 2, and that's his 36th hit of the year, so officially breaks the tie there from Ryan Smith. Or actually, I should say, reties him. It was 35 coming in for the both of them, and I nearly forgot Ryan Smith that double in the 2nd inning for his 36 hits. So tit for tat right here as Mitchell Jr. collects his 36th knock of the year, and that'll bring Drew Curtis to the plate. Looks like the shortstop, Jew, going to be ranging over near the 5.5 hole in between third and shortstop. Maybe playing Curtis to pull a little more as he now takes a first pitch curveball low in the dirt, blocked by the catcher Pryor. So now with the runner on scoring position, 2 outs. Another RBI opportunity for Curtis. He was able to deliver in his first at-bat in a full count. In fact, was the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Lofted a single out into right field. A diving effort there by Austin Gabor, but unfortunately for the Victoria fans, unable to come up with it as Curtis now takes another breaking ball. This one a bit higher, but off the plate for ball 2. Yanderchuk holding the runner Cardinelli at second. Not necessarily a speed demon, but certainly has got some length. Fast runner once he gets the momentum going is now ball 3 is thrown low and outside here to Drew Curtis. A fastball that time, not even close to the zone. Just barely off the dirt there as Pryor kind of had to pick that one. So in this situation with 2 outs, we're trying to go right at these Grey Wolf hitters, especially at the bottom of the order. Instead has thrown 3. Make that 4 straight balls as he misses low with a fastball. So I keep harping on this, but it really is a testament not only to the patience of these Grey Wolves hitters, but possibly their reputation offensively, kind of getting into the head there of Austin Dondeville. He's walked 3 batters now, as we'll have a mound visit from the head coach for Victoria, Greg Merritt. I'll go out and talk to his young right-hander for a little bit. As Dondeville from Walnut Creek, California. We talked about it with Book in the 2nd inning, but of course a Cal Poly San Luis Obispo Mustang. Teammates, in fact, with Dylan Doherty, who he walked in his last at-bat. I'm sure was not happy about that, as they technically are 1-1 in terms of their successes at the plate. Dondeville was able to get him to fly out in the 1st inning, so that's a win for one Bronco, or rather Mustang, and then walked him on 5 pitches in the 2nd, so Doherty goes right back at him. Nonetheless, issues his first 4-pitch walk, and I would like to wonder if he's even had a 4-pitch walk so far this season, as he had only given up 5 free bases in that first half of the season. So now Merritt back in the dugout. Dondeville has his sign. Comes set. First pitch on the way to Cairo, who walked in his last at-bat, and it's in for a strike, a curveball in the outside corner. Cairo walked on a full count in the 2nd inning, kind of prolonged that 2nd inning, and at the very least made Dondeville throw more pitches. And when you have an ace like this on the mound who has gone 7 innings or more 3 times, now the 2nd pitch, big swing and a miss there from Cairo as he cuts through a fastball, and it's quickly 0-2. Anytime you have an opportunity to make a stud like Dondeville throw pitches, you want to be able to take advantage of it, at the very least get to that bullpen. And we know the Harbor Cats bullpen is good, at least on paper. But last night did show some signs of weaknesses, and the Grey Wolves were able to take advantage. And so now time called by Kerr with the plate. He's got to shorten up here in a 2-strike count. 2 outs. Bases loaded. And the 0-2 pitch on the way. Curveball off the plate. And a good job right there by Cairo not to chase that waste pitch. So Cardinelli on 3rd. Mitchell Jr. on 2nd. Curtis on 1st. As Dondeville looking to work out of the biggest jam he's faced yet. Left 2 stranded in the 2nd inning. Looking to leave 3. Cairo looking to cash in. And now the 1-2 on the way. Fastball misses inside. Everyone on the Victoria defense thought that was strike 3. The first baseman, shortstop, 2nd baseman, as well as Dondeville all took a couple of steps towards the dugout. But nonetheless, Colin Price, the home plate umpire, did not budge. Ruled an official ball. The second one of the at-bat is it's now 2-2. So Dondeville is going to have to refocus here as the pitch now on the way. Breaking ball. This one right down the heart of the plate. Can't do anything about that as that froze Matt Cairo. A dirty breaking ball there to end the inning. So the Grey Wolves get 1 run, or rather no runs, 1 hit. No errors and 3 runners left on as we head now to the 4th here at Osland Field. Do it for the Harbor Cats. It'll be Pryor, Snyder, and Jew when we come back here after this break on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live.
You are on a quest full of danger and excitement, your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Catcher, number 8, Joe Pryor.
And so now we return to action here at Osland Field on the base of the campus of Mount Hood Community College, home of the Saints, where the Gresham Grey Wolves have made it their official home this summer and are taking on the Victoria Harbor Cats in the second game of this 3-game series. First pitch on the way here to Joe Pryor is cut on and fouled off the foot there. Looked like right off the front of the ankle on the left leg from Pryor, but it appears to be okay. So we'll toss that ball and get a new baseball for Rylan Luchek. Back on the mound for his 4th inning of work. Has allowed 1 run so far. The only run for Victoria as the Grey Wolves hold a 2-1 advantage over the Harbor Cats. And now the second pitch on the way. Change up there, nicely placed on the outside corner, and it's quickly 0-2 here to Pryor, who singled in his last at bat. Made it all the way up to second base on a wild pitch that was eventually stranded there by Luchek. Is now the 0-2 on the way. Another changeup down low in the dirt, and that one skips off the bag at third base and down the third base line. Incoming Adams, he'll have to pick it up, but not before Joe Pryor with an Osland Field special there, if you will. Sort of tipped off the third base bag. It was a slow roller that Johnson looked like he was going to have a play on over there at third base, but nonetheless, the ball in the field here had other ideas as Pryor is able to get himself a ground ball double there down the third base line. An interesting play and an interesting roll there, but nonetheless is going to go in the book as a 2-bagger. So Joe Pryor with 2 hits now. First multi-hit appearance this evening, as now Cody Snyder, the designated hitter, will come to the plate. Left-handed batter, high wagon over as he shoots this one into the right center field gap. Gonna get down, and looks like it's gonna get out beyond near Ryan Smith. He'll pick it up. 1 run will score easily, and that's in the form of Joe Pryor as Cody Snyder fills the book. Back-to-back doubles here for Victoria as they are back on the board and now tie this ball game. We're all knotted up at 2.
The shortstop, number 5, Tommy Jew.
So an RBI double there from Cody Snyder split the gap perfectly, and that was something I kind of talked about in the last inning, where I felt that the Grey Wolves, in terms of their defensive placement, were spaced a little too far out near the corners in right and left, and allowed quite a bit of room, I should say, in left and right center field. Nonetheless, nothing you can do about it now as Tommy Jew will step to the plate and takes a first pitch, ball low and outside. So the 2 earned runs for Luchek, obviously going to be charged to him, or essentially match the most runs he's given up so far this season. In fact, has matched the only amount of runs he's given up so far this season, as he now misses again with an off-speed pitch low in the dirt, 2-0. So maybe on both sides, with the Aces on right now arguably the 2 hottest teams in the West Coast League, the Aces for each team starting to stutter a bit. Of course, these 2 very potent offenses can beat you in many different ways. We've seen the Grey Wolves mainly do it without the long ball, as now Tommy Jew laces the one back up the box. In to pick it up is Smith. Looks like they're going to hold the runner there at third, as Snyder will have to put on the brakes there. But nonetheless, Jew picks up a base knock. as he's now 1 for 2. Of course, had base hits in his first 2 ABs last night, one of which was a loud one. A dead center field 2-run home run, as that's going to bring out Ian Sanderson, the pitching coach for the Gresham Grey Wolves. Now, during this pitching break, I'll kind of researched a couple of interesting facts about this Dayton baseball history, revolving around the All-Star game, which of course happened yesterday. The AL was able to win 4-2, and Eric Hosmer took home MVP honors with a home run. Him and his teammate Salvador Perez, the catcher for the Kansas City Royals, in fact, went home run in the same inning, so somewhat back-to-back, but nonetheless, another All-Star game highlight. On this date, 1999, when the All-Star game was held at Fenway Park, the hometown favorite, Pedro Martinez, struck out 5 of the first 6 batters, and the 2 All-Star pitching squads combined for a record 22 strikeouts. Of course, the American League topped the NL in the 70th Midsummer Classic, and also that was the game where prior to getting started, the players from both teams paid an impromptu emotional on-field tribute to an aging Ted Williams. That was a very memorable moment in MLB history. As Ian Sanderson now back in the dugout. Luchuk refocused back there on the bump as he's going to have to work out of a jam. Runners on second and third. Nobody out here for the 8-hitter Gabor as he takes a fastball low and inside for ball 1. It's kind of a nifty fact there, kind of reliving a great moment in MLB history. Also got a couple more moments for you on this date, July 13th. Hopefully we'll be able to get to those throughout the rest of this broadcast. As now Luchek set, the 1-0 on the way. Check swing there from Gabor, but it doesn't matter as it's right down the heart of the plate. 1-1. Gabor singled in the third to lead off that inning, eventually coming around to score on the sacrifice fly from Ben Polshuk. He's now just trying to find a way to put a ball in play as the Grey Wolves have drawn the corners in. Middle infielder's back. As now this one, a hard ground ball over to the diving pair, and he has it. Will have to go to first base as that's the only play there. And now cannot be picked by Drew Curtis. The ball gets away, and that's going to allow Drew to go to third base as Curtis Perrin, after what seemed like it was going to turn into a spectacular double play, ends up having to go to first. Cannot be picked up by Drew Curtis over there at first base. And so we'll get the official scoring in just a second. It's going to be an E4 all the way around. So Gabor reaches on the error from Perrin. Jew is allowed to go to second as well as third base on the E4. And most importantly, it breaks this 2-2 tie as Cody Snyder comes in to score the third run for Victoria. And so now first pitch swinging, here's P.J. Floyd as he laces one down the right field line. Going to get in fair territory into the ivy. Mitchell Jr. will pick it up, will play it in as one run will come in. Now a second as it looks like P.J. Floyd with a head first slide is going to have himself a triple. The throw was a bit offline there from Perrin coming in from shallow right field. But nonetheless, 2 more runners are allowed to score in the form of Jew and Gabor all the way from first base. As a 4-run fourth inning that is not over yet has allowed the Harbor Cats to take the lead. They now own it 5-2. So now with Matt Louts coming to the plate and that error looming large here, not to say that Perrin would have been able to turn the double play as he had to dive and sort of contort his body to make the play to second base, which I think is why he wisely chose to go to first. But with Curtis unable to pick him up, that misplay doesn't even allow the Grey Wolves to get an out. Still nobody out as the first pitch to Louts is a curveball that misses outside for ball 1. And so we'll officially get that for you. It looks like Jew is going to be Gabor is going to be the only unearned run of this inning. So 4 tagged against Luchek so far as now he bends a breaking ball over the outside corner for strike 1. Those back-to-back doubles to begin the inning really hurting at this point, because that's where it got all started. Joe Pryor and Cody Snyder. As now the 1-1 pitch is a fastball right down the heart of the plate, 1-2. So still nobody out, and I'm sure Luchek would really appreciate a strikeout here in this situation. At the very least, giving yourself a chance to possibly have an opportunity to leave that runner at third, as he now misses up and in. Little chin music there from Luchek, and it's 2-2. So a 5-2 ball game as some action begins to brew down in the bullpen for Gresham. Looks like number 18. As now the 2-2 pitch, a ground ball, one hopper right back to Luchek. Doesn't know where to go with it at first, but then picks it up and goes right onto first base. A nice strong throw to the chest of Curtis for the first out. It looks like he might have thought that there was a runner on first base as he turned towards second base to try and turn a double play, but nonetheless quickly realized that there was no runner on first and was able to still recover in time to get the first out. So a nice heads-up play there from Luchek, and now with one out, it'll be Griffin Anderchuk to the plate after the 1-3 put out. First pitch on the way to him is a off-speed pitch popped up over the right, going to get out of play foul here, 0-1. So a couple of doubles, one of them in an RBI fashion from Snyder, a single from Tommy Jew, and then after that error from Perrin allowed Gabor to reach as well as Jew to reach third base, then that 2 RBI triple from P.J. Floyd is now this fastball runs upstairs as well as off the plate to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Anderchuk 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop Doherty back in the first and walked in the third. There's now the 1-1 pitch on the way, a curveball slap back off the screen here, 1-2. And a big pitch right here coming up for Luchek. At the very least, with 2 strikes, don't want to offer up anything near the strike zone. Want to try and expand that zone to get Anderchuk to chase, possibly get himself out. We'll see what he can do with it here. Is the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball hit high and deep to center field. Giving chase is Ryan Smith, and he will make the catch at the warning track out in left center field. A beautiful ball hawked down by Ryan Smith. Unfortunately, will bring in another run as P.J. Floyd was on third base. But a great defensive effort there from Ryan Smith to, at the very least, halt this inning where it stood. So now with 2 outs and no runners on, the Harbor Cats do have a 6-2 lead now. But at the very least, Luchek can focus, get back in the windup, maybe gain some momentum to head into the 5th inning. So now the first baseman, Polshuk, will come to the plate. He had the first sacrifice fly of this ballgame in the previous inning in the 3rd that brought in Gabor. There's now the first pitch on the way to him is a curveball that misses up and out, 1-0. And so, in fact, that pitcher that I previously named down there in the bullpen, or didn't name his number, I should say, is this curveball is right there at the knees to Polshuk, 1-1, is number 10 for the Grey Wolves. Looking around this roster here, number 10, Chris Brown, the 5'10" left-hander from Pleasant Hill, California, as the 1-1 swung on and missed. Tied him up there with a fastball in the inside corner, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Polshuk, 0 for 1. Mentioned the sacrifice fly. Also popped up to the third baseman Johnson to end that 1-2-3 first inning. Since then, it's been somewhat downhill for Luchuk as he has now allowed 6 runs, only 5 of them earned, as Polshuk fouls one off to the left side, right past the Grey Wolves dugout. No action in the Harbor Cats bullpen. As now the 1-2 pitch, a soft grounder over the left side. Doherty calls off Johnson, has it, will go to first base, and scooped up off the dirt right there from Drew Curtis. So the 6-3 put out is in time, as after allowing 5 base runners in a row that turned into 5 runs, Luchek gets the last 3 outs of the inning, and we head to the bottom of the 4th here at Osland Field. It'll be the top of the order for Gresham coming up, and Doherty, Perrin, and Johnson, as we take a quick break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. The Victoria Harbor Cats now have the lead, 6-2.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so we return to action here at Osland Field. in this bottom of the fourth inning where the Gray Wolves will be looking to respond. As the Harbor Cats put up a 5 spot in the top of the frame to reclaim the lead. Now 6-2 they hold it. So it'll be up to Dylan Doherty to try and get things going. He walked in his last at-bat. And in some shape or form was a part of that 2-run rally in the second inning for Gresham. Hoping to spark another one right here. So Austin Dondeville back out on the mound for the Harbor Cats in his fourth inning of work. Fires a fastball up and outside for ball 1. Dondeville surrendered 2 runs, 2 of them earned. 3 walks as Doherty laces a single into center field that's going to drop. Almost thought I might have had to pull that one back as the center fielder Stone was crashing hard, but definitely had to pull up on that one as Doherty laced a sinking line drive just beyond the reach of Stone. That's a leadoff single here for the Gray Wolves to begin their fourth. So a good sign there is Doherty and Curtis Perrin, the middle infielders, holding it down on the top of the lineup, looking to trying to get something going as Perrin singled in the first inning, struck out in the second. Maybe trying to play some small ball here as he shows bunt, pulls it back, but takes a breaking ball in the outside corner for strike 1. So we certainly know Perrin, as well as Doherty, both able to play small ball and execute well for Justin Barkus, the head coach, excuse me. As the 0-1 now on the way, fastball popped up and back out beyond our heads up here in the broadcast booth, strike 2. So an even 6 hits apiece as the Gray Wolves simply haven't been able to cash in these last 2 innings. Both times leaving the bases loaded. In the second, they were at least able to scrape across 2 runs as Perrin pops this one back off the screen, staying alive here 0-2. However, Curtis, Cairo, and Doherty were left stranded in that second inning with 2 outs. And in fact, had less than 2 outs when Perrin came to the plate in the second. Unfortunately struck out, and then Jack Johnson, who's on deck, grounded out. As the 0-2 on the way is fought off again over to the left side. Skims the fence there, but just able to get into the stands as a couple of kids will find their way back up the ramparts and into the parking lot, it looks like. So hopefully no tint damage there that time. Nonetheless, 0-2 count remains as Doherty takes his lead. Now the pitch on the way. Curveball swung on and missed when fishing down low. There is Curtis Perrin down on strikes for the second time, this time swinging again. So 2 Ks of the swinging fashion, and now Jack Johnson will come to the plate. Grounded out to first base in his last at-bat, also lined out to the right fielder Gabor in his first at-bat, so has found barrel once tonight. Looking to find it again as he takes a curveball in the outside corner for strike 1. Josh Adams awaiting on deck. He'll be up next. Should the Gray Wolves avoid this double play ball. As another breaking ball misses low and outside here, 1-1. And so Johnson, who is batting .250 coming into the game, total of 22 hits, making his 27th appearance. 1 home run, 8 RBIs. Although has been a bit cold in his last couple of games, at least on that road trip. As he now fights this one off, a ground ball back up the middle. Jew has it, a glove flip over to second base, on to first, but not in time, and gets over the head of the first baseman, Polshuk, but the catcher Pryor is there to recover it. So Johnson finds himself on first base, a fielder's choice right there. As at least that shouldn't be ruled an error. I'll wait for an official scoring, but nonetheless, I'm going to chalk that down as a fielder's choice there for Jack Johnson. Doherty is out 6-4. And a nice flip there from Tommy Jew over to his second base counterpart, or middle infield counterpart, I should say, Griffin Anderchuk. Was kind of a tough hop, caught it with his glove, and didn't even use his other hand. Just flipped it with the glove. And in fact, I believe it was barehanded by Anderchuk as well. So nearly a web gem type play as now Josh Adams to the plate, takes ball 1 outside. Adams, after struggling a bit in his first 4 games, now hitting .293, so that average has continued to climb each and every game to begin this second half. Has been a go-to guy through the middle of the order, batting .435 here in this second half. Only one strikeout. So he's been putting the ball in play as he taps this one off and over to the right side to even the count at 1-1. So now with 2 outs, as Doherty led off the inning with a single. Perrin struck out, and Doherty was out at second base on the fielder's choice from Jack Johnson. So after a leadoff single, the Grey Wolves trying to get something going. Josh Adams obviously has the power to hit the long ball, but any ball into the outfield, something in the gap would certainly do the trick as he now takes a breaking ball off the edge, 2 balls and 1 strike. In fact, I believe leading the West Coast League in hits, at least in the second half. He's got 10 so far. There's now the 2-1 on the way. And this ball laced down the left field line, slicing though, just foul by a couple of feet there. Josh Adams robbed of extra base hits by the foul line itself. And Johnson, a man that can certainly fly around the base paths, I believe would have at least tried to go for it at home with 2 outs. Barkis looked like he was going to send him, but nonetheless is simply just going to go as a long strike to even the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now a 6-2 lead here for Victoria as the Grey Wolves trying to find a way to claw their way back. In fact, they were down 6-2, I believe, going into the 4th last night. Check that for you real quick. They were, in fact, so they were going down, or rather in the bottom of the 3rd, they were down 6-2, able to plate 1 run and then 3 in the bottom of the 4th inning. So still some time left. We know this offense has plenty of ability as this changeup is popped up over the left. Now to play foul, we'll do it again. The 6-6 ball game at this point last night. And the way it looked, at least with Luchek on the bump, through the first 3 innings, simply coasted. Ran into a bit of trouble, giving up 1 run in the 3rd, but no damage. However, Victoria able to bust out for 5, capitalizing on the second baseman Perrin's error. There's now a breaking ball chopped over the right side, and a stab right there from the first baseman Polshek. He'll flip it to the pitcher covering Dondeville, and a nice play there as he had to jump for that one, but was still able to use his 6'4" frame as well as that long first baseman's glove to make the play. So a 3-1 put out there ends this 4th inning for the Grey Wolves as we'll head to the top of the 5th. Stone, Pryor, and Snyder due up when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live.
With the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now coming back to here to begin this 5th inning at Osland Field. Game 2 of a 3-game series between the Victoria Harbor Cats and the Gresham Grey Wolves. Grey Wolves took game 1, and so far it's gone all Harbor Cats 6-2 as Rylan Luchek's night is done. It's going to be Chris Brown, the left-hander, coming on in relief as Luchek, unfortunately unable to reach the 5th inning, does not put himself in line for a win, and in fact at this point would be lined up for the loss as Brown, who's pitched in 15 innings so far this season, making his 6th appearance. Originally was kind of tried out as a starter for the Grey Wolves, but found that he was more effective in the bullpen, did Justin Barkis, and has really catered to the strengths of his pitching staff, which is something I've admired a lot about Barkis, along with the pitching coach Ian Sanderson, kind of doing some internal digging, figuring out which pitchers would be great in which type of situations. And it was clear that Chris Brown was not working out as a starter, so simply was moved to the bullpen, and since then has found success. As the first pitch swinging on this, a fly ball here directed by Jake Stone into right center field. Diving effort there by Smith, but cannot get to it as Mitchell Jr. will have to play it in, but not before Jake Stone collects a leadoff double here to begin the fifth. So maybe not a great start for Chris Brown, who has given up 27 hits through his 15 innings, although has also collected 10 strikeouts and only walked one. So at the very least, you know you're going to be in and around the plate with this left-hander. Coming out of the bullpen, hoping to kind of fill that role that Carter Book did last night. Another left-hander, not necessarily a hard thrower, similar to Brown, but Book was able to really stifle these Victoria Harbor Cats hitters for the majority of the night, going 4 2/3, excuse me, and was able to only allow 2 earned runs, both of which coming in the 6th inning. As now swung on a miss, pulled the string on a changeup to Joe Pryor here, did Brown, and that's strike one. Pryor, up until the end of the fourth, or the beginning of the fourth, I should say, led off with a double and has 2 hits. So 2 for 2 is the catcher tonight for Victoria as he's swinging, taps this one over to the left side, off the dugout, off the facing of the fence right there for the Gresham Grey Wolves dugout. Now it's 0-2. So going to have to shorten up here. It is Pryor, the 5-hitter in this Harbor Cats offensive order, with a runner on second base in the form of Jake Stone. In fact, that was Stone's first hit as he was 0 for 2. A couple of groundouts to the shortstop is now the 0-2 pitch. A chopper up the middle. Got to move the runner over, but Doherty collects it, and it takes a funny hop on him. Tries to go to first base in time. Able to recover. Doherty's been having some trouble so far in this series with that dirt over there around shortstop. It seems like he's been attacking the ball well, but nonetheless some funny hops around from Osland Field have kind of had or created trouble for him, but nonetheless able to recover there and get the out. And so 1 out here as Stone moves up to third base. And now the DH Cody Snyder will step to the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a RBI double. He's also scored a run. As Brown will have the lefty-on-lefty matchup. Corners drawn in for Gresham. Middle infield conceding the run as now this curveball swung on and missed. Big swing there from Snyder as it nearly came out of his shoes and did in fact come out of the batter's box at that time. So 6-2 in favor of Victoria. Looking to get back in this series, possibly tie it up, create a rubber match situation tomorrow as the 0-1. Fly ball into shallow center field. Incoming Ryan Smith, and he will dive for it. Makes the catch. Gets up, throws it to home plate. Of course, the runner is going to be in with plenty of time, although they're going to appeal to third base and ask if he took off early. No, he did not, says the home plate umpire Colin Price, as Victoria extends the lead now 7-2. But what a play there from Ryan Smith. We've seen him all over the field throughout this season, mostly ranging back, but this time crashing hard. And instead of a typical slide that we'd see from an average outfielder, Ryan Smith full extension with his arms outstretched and is able to make the catch for the second out. A great web gem highlight right there from Ryan Smith as now Tommy Jew will come to the plate. First pitch on the way to him is a fastball just a bit high and inside for ball 1. So Smith not only proving that he can do it with the bat, but also with the glove. And that was really what stood out to me about Smith, and probably the reason why he's continued to stay in the lineup, as now Jew pulls a bunt attempt back, but doesn't matter as he takes strike 1, a curveball there from Brown. Because early on in the season, Smith was not hitting particularly well. Had an average below 200, I believe, 2 weeks through the season, but just kept at it. The bat eventually came around, and the defense, of course, was there the entire time. Is now a check swing there, ruled that he did go around, said the field umpire. And I believe his name, there it is, Ed Rye, excuse me. So Ed Rye, the home plate umpire from last night, says he did go around as Jude now finds himself in a 1-2 count with the pitch on the way here. Changeup, got him out in front, but was able to get a piece. Taps it back off the screen, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Smith, who got a lot of starts early on in the season, even though his average wasn't necessarily as high, and I'm adamant that it was because of his defensive effort. Again, showing it there. May have to show it here as this pop-up is into shallow right field. Perrin calling for it. Now called off by Mitchell Jr. So Smith not needed on that play. And his outfielder, Jeffrey Mitchell Jr., able to make the catch and retire the side. So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th here at Osland Field. Smith, Cardinale, and Mitchell Jr. all coming up in the next inning as we take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. The Grey Wolves trail 7-2.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
And so now we return to action here in this bottom of the 5th inning with the Grey Wolves coming to the plate. Ryan Smith, Mark Cardinale, and Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. due up. Again, facing Austin Dondeville back out on the bump for his 5th inning. And really since that second where he allowed back-to-back doubles to begin the inning off the back of Smith and Cardinale, has really settled in. Able to strand the bases loaded in the second, as well as, most importantly, the 3rd inning, as the Grey Wolves tried to muster kind of a 2-out rally with nobody on. Cardinale was hit by a pitch, then Mitchell Jr. singled to right, followed by a walk from Curtis. But unfortunately, Matt Cairo went down looking with the bases loaded and 2 outs to end that threat. So a total of 7 runners left on base for the Grey Wolves as Ryan Smith steps in the box. Now calls time quickly. Now right back in the boxes. Maybe just need to adjust the batting gloves. So Dondeville has his sign. First pitch of the inning set to begin right here. Fastball shows bunt did Smith. The drag bunt right down the third base line. Barehanded by P.J. Floyd over to first base in time. A nice play there by P.J. Floyd coming in. Was certainly startled by the drag bunt attempt and beautifully placed down the third base line from Smith. Possibly a bit strong, however, as Floyd was playing just about 3 or 4 steps past the bag. Came in, took 1 step on the grass, picked it up with a bare hand, and slung it over to first base to get the speedy Ryan Smith. So after Smith robs a Victoria Harbor Cat of a base hit in the previous inning, making a web gem catch, they return the favor in the form of P.J. Floyd. So now 1 out. Cardinale to the plate. He's got a base hit, had a double in his first at-bat as he now takes a strike for a curveball here right down the heart of the plate. Also had a hit by pitch in his last at-bat in the 3rd. So officially 1 for 1. Although has reached base twice and now takes a fastball just below the knees there for ball 1. Cardinale so far this season, batting just above 250. Rather just below 250, 236 as he pops this one up and over beyond our heads for strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the DH this evening for Gresham. As all the kids are out, we nearly got ourselves a packed house. We got some people perched down here right on the left side as Cardinale takes a curveball low in the dirt, blocked nicely by Pryor, ball 2. Got some people perched right in front of the fence here along the Gresham side. Got a couple of lawn chairs out, feet kicked up. A nice ball game as the sun has began to set, not fully, however, as the light's now shining bright as this one, a ground ball over to the left side, juggled by the third baseman Floyd. He's not going to be able to come up with it. Cardinale runs well, and he's going to have himself an E5 And that is the official ruling. Just thought I'd check in there. Did appear to be bobbled there by Floyd, but you never can tell. So now Cardinale reaches base on the first error on the evening for the Harbor Cats. And now Mitchell Jr. will come to the plate. He's 1 for 2. First pitch on the way is a breaking ball off the outside edge. I don't know, in fact, called a strike there by Colin Price. That one looked a couple balls off the plate, but apparently has been calling that all night. It's the inside pitch he's really had a problem with, and I talked about it a little bit earlier in the game, but the way that Price has placed himself on the inside corner. Now Mitchell Jr. inside outs this pitch, a ground ball scooped up nicely on the right side by Anderchuk, and he throws it away, gets past the first baseman Polshuk. That'll allow Cardinale to go to third base as Mitchell Jr. reaches, and going to be an E3, in fact. So the play was a bit confusing, at least looking up here from the broadcast booth, but it looks like it was a good throw from Anderchuk, and Polshuk simply lost it. Was not necessarily right to the chest of the first baseman, and I'm sure Anderchuk a little frustrated himself throwing it a bit low, but nonetheless, Polshuk just simply not in an athletic position to catch that ball, just simply assumed that the throw that was coming from the right side, not too far away, was going to be right to the chest. Nonetheless, was a bit lower, and he just dropped it. So that'll allow Cardinale to go to third on the E3, and now Drew Curtis will come to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Grey Wolves with an opportunity to take advantage of some mistakes, as now Mitchell Jr. takes off for second base, and the pitch was called a ball, and no throw there from the catcher, Joe Pryor. So Mitchell Jr. collecting his 11th stolen base of the season now, as it's going to be ball 1 to Drew Curtis. Puts himself in scoring position as well, so a smart heads-up play there by the Golden Bear, able to put himself at second base, take away the easy force out. So at the very least, if Curtis should ground one to the left side, they'll have to go across the diamond. Not an easy task according to this inning. 2 errors so far for Victoria. And now the 1-0 on the way. Big breaking ball there right through the heart of the plate as it runs the count even. A ball and a strike. And Curtis, who'd seen a lot of action early on in the season, not so much in the last couple of weeks, as the average has dipped down to 141. Just 9, make that now 10 hits, so has officially reached double-digit hits. But a bat that I'm sure Justin Bark is expected to see more out of him, probably having faith in him, which is why he's in the lineup tonight. And now takes another curveball. This one, almost a similar spot to the one that was called a strike on Cardinale. Actually, Jeff Mitchell Jr. That was a couple balls off the plate, nonetheless called for strike 2. So Curtis going to have to shorten up here. Had a 2-strike base knock in a full count back in the second inning. That was an RBI single out to right field, and the Grey Wolves could use just that in this situation. Any ball through the infield would surely score 2, as Mitchell's got a huge lead at second. And now chases a curveball low in the dirt, picked up by Pryor, is going to throw it to first base. And now there's 2 outs, in fact, so the wrong amount of outs up there on the board. Confused me a bit. Nonetheless, Curtis is down on strikes, and now an opportunity with 2 outs for Matt Cairo to come through, who's already struck out once in this type of situation. He walked back in the second, but Cade looking with the bases loaded to end the third, so looking to atone for that here in this inning, as Curtis was unable to get the job done. Went fishing on a pitch low and away, and now hopefully Cairo is able to find some good wood here in this bottom of the 5th. First pitch on the way to him, swinging as he'll slap this one back off the screen. Able to get a piece, but will go for strike 1. Cairo, the average, not necessarily there, although has been more of a defensive upgrade from the other man behind the plate, Ben Clanky, who's been tasked with taking over a little more of the offensive weight for the catching position for Gresham. A quick mound visit there from the catcher Joe Pryor to his battery mate Don DeVille. Just a couple of words as now he'll head behind home plate. But Cairo just batting 125 through now 17 games. 4 hits and 32 at-bats. 12 walks earned, however, so still has found his way on base. Make that now 13 if you add the one of the second inning. So now Don DeVille with a long look back to second. 0-1 on the way, a breaking ball on the outside corner. He's been really favoring that curveball here in this inning, especially with runners on base. And the Grey Wolves haven't been able to pull the trigger. The only time that they did chase that curveball was, of course, Drew Curtis, who went fishing low and in the dirt. So now Cairo's going to have to shorten up here, down an 0-2 count. Dondeville looking to put him away and leave another 2 runners in scoring position. So we'll see if Cairo can keep alive here. 0-2 pitch on the way, fastball off the outside edge. A good spot there from Dondeville as he tried to get him to go chasing. And in fact, Joe Pryor that time, the catcher, set up off the plate. So threw it where he wanted it, but a good take by Cairo. Not to wave at that one. Surely would have had himself an out either way. Not a good pitch to hit. So nonetheless, ball 1 is now Cairo. Kind of chokes up on the bat here from the right side. Another fastball again off the outside edge, taken by Cairo to even the count at 2-2. So a 7-2 ball game as the Grey Wolves are looking to try and cut into this deficit. They've been given an opening here in this bottom of the 5th. An error from the third baseman Floyd along with an error from the first baseman Polshuk have 2 runners on base as Cairo sprays this one over the right side but snagged by Polshuk. He'll pick it up and take it himself over to first base as that one was hit right on the button but right at the first baseman for Victoria to end the inning. So that will conclude the 5th as we'll go to the top of the 6th here at Osland Field, the bottom of the order. And Matt Lautz, as Gabor, Floyd, and Lautz will come to the plate when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
And so now is Chris Brown almost done with his warm-up pitches. Of course, got to wait for Matt Cairo, who ended the bottom of the 5th inning with a ground out. Going to take a little more time to get the knee pads on, but of course, now he looks like he'll be heading out there. Chris Brown back up for his 2nd inning of work as he replaced the starting pitcher for Gresham, Rylan Luchuk, at the end of that last inning. The top of the 5th has allowed 1 run so far. Looking to get through another inning and keep it going as long as possible. Although it does seem like there is some action beginning to brew down in the Grey Wolves bullpen. Just a playful game of catch between, it looks like, number 15, which according to our roster does not exist. So no number 15 on here. Nonetheless, we'll try and get that name for you. It looks like Kyle Schaup. Oh, sorry, Kyle Scott, number 15. As well as number 26, Brett Ganaway down there in the bullpen. As this inning has started, first pitch on the way is a curveball in for a strike here to Gabor, the lefty-on-lefty matchup. In fact, predominantly left-handers throughout this Victoria Harbor Cats lineup. So favoring the soft-handed Chris Brown as this one is roped into right field, but playable for Jeff Mitchell Jr. Will take a couple steps back, right into the mitt, and there's 1 out here to begin the 6th inning. So that one was stung out to right field, but placed himself well, did Mitchell Jr., kind of maybe moving back a little bit, having seen Gabor, understanding where to play him. Used his positioning perfectly to collect the first out. So now P.J. Floyd will come to the plate, who had the biggest hit so far this evening for the Harbor Cats. A 2 RBI triple. That ended up clearing the bases at that point and now takes a strike 1. Fastball in the inside corner. A 2 RBI triple in the 4th. Struck out looking in the 3rd. As now the 2nd pitch of the at-bat on the way here from Brown. A big breaking ball swung on and missed. And it's quickly 0-2. So Brown favoring the breaking ball, especially to these left-handers, probably trying to get them out front. As now Floyd in an open stance. 0-2 pitch on the way again, pulls up, but manages to get a piece of that one off the end of the bat as it remains 0-2. So 1 out as Gabor lined out to begin this inning. Now Floyd down 0-2. Brown in the windup. The 5'10" left-hander. High leg kick and delivery. Fastball, soft line drive in on the infield, right to the chest of Curtis Perrin. He took a step back and sort of misread it off the bat as it was a soft line drive. In fact, may have resulted in firewood as P.J. Floyd will have to check his bat on his way back to the dugout. But nonetheless, we'll go as an L4 as Perrin is able to collect the ball, make the catch, and there's 2 away here to begin this top of the 6th. So now Matt Lautz will come to the plate. Leadoff batter 0 for 2. A couple of base knocks last night. Over his last 7 games, the hottest hitter for Victoria, batting .429 as he now takes a fastball over the outside part of the plate, strike 1. 6 hits and 14 at-bats, 1 RBI, a walk. No extra base hits, but has found himself scoring 3 times, 2 more last night as he swings over a changeup there. A nice pitch there from Chris Brown to pull the string, and it's quickly 0-2. So Brown, having only thrown strikes so far this inning, has an opportunity to not only go 1-2-3, but save the arm a little bit. Just 9 pitches so far as the 10th now on the way. Sprayed over the right side, backhanded by Perrin up the middle. Pulls and throws on the run, and it is in time as Curtis Perrin makes a nice defensive play there to end the top of the 6th inning. Chris Brown goes 1-2-3 as we head to the bottom of the frame. It'll be the top of the order for the Grey Wolves, and Doherty, Perrin, and Johnson when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. The Grey Wolves trail 7-2.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child.
And so now we're ready to go here in this bottom of the 6th inning for Gresham, as it'll be Dylan Doherty to the plate. He's led off a couple of times, not only to begin the ball game, but also to begin the 4th. He led off with a single and hoping to have somewhat of a similar result, looking to reach base here to begin this bottom of the 6th. So Austin Dondeville back out on the bump for his 6th inning of work for the Harbor Cats as he fires in a strike right through the heart of the plate, 0-1. In addition to that single, also a walk and a fly out for Doherty as he's 1 for 2. Hasn't gotten further than first base, however, as he was out on the fielder's choice. Now a big swing and a miss there. Something off speed that time from Dondeville, had him out in front, and it's 0-2. Doherty over his last 7 days, batting pretty well, has been able to find himself on base 4 times. Is now the 0-2 pitch on the way. Chopper over to the right side, but is going to get right past the first base foul. And the count remains 0-2. Doherty batting .316 in the last 7 days. And last week to begin this second half, I should say, as he's also worked 3 walks and has been hit by pitches 3 times. In fact, was tagged right in the middle of the 2, which is his number last night, by a reliever from Victoria, and now takes a curveball low in the dirt. A nice side there from Doherty for ball 1. Doherty batting third in terms of average, as in the second half so far this season, the Grey Wolves are batting .267. Now the 1-2 sprayed over the left side, but past Justin Barkis down there on the third base side, foul. As it looks like some more throwing going on down there in the bullpen for the Grey Wolves. Continuously, it looks like Kyle Scott, a left-hander, catching the right-hander Brett Ganaway. So nonetheless, 1-2 pitch now on the way here from the pitcher Dondeville, and it's going to be fouled off to the left as Doherty continues to stay alive. So 1-2 as now the seventh pitch of the at-bat will come along the way. Doherty does a great job of kind of shrinking that strike zone. Not a guy that doesn't strike out a lot. Is able to put a lot of contact on the balls as the 1-2 inside. Breaking ball had to scoot out of the way of that one. And that evens the count at 2-2. So a 7-2 ball game here at Osland Field. Evan Giddings bringing you Gresham Grey Wolves baseball as the sun has just about set. The lights officially illuminating this beautiful campus here at Mount Hood Community College in the home of the Saints, as now Doherty takes a fastball low, just below the knees there at that time, as Dondeville, thought he had strike three. Nonetheless, goes for ball three as Doherty, after being down to the count 0-2, has worked himself full. So Dondeville, always from the stretch, payoff pitch on the way, fastball, ring him up, strike three called in the inside corner. Doherty thought it was ball four, but we'll have to take that always awkward walk back to the dugout as he tossed his bat. Had even taken off the Evo shield, but nonetheless has nothing to say for the home plate umpire, Colin Price, as he takes his strike three like a professional, and now it'll be Curtis Perrin's turn to try and break through against Dondeville. And since that third inning where he stranded the bases loaded with 2 outs, has been able to work out of a couple jams. Left 1 on in the fourth and left 2 on in the fifth. Both of those, however, reached due to errors. Is now Perrin, first pitch on the way, him. Fly ball out to deep center field, giving chase to Stone, and that one is off the glove. Stone turned around. It looked like he was going to be able to make the catch, but Perrin will coast into second base. We'll see if that's a hit or not, and it officially ruled a double here for Curtis Perrin. And I think Stone a bit shocked by the power of Perrin, who's got a couple of extra base hits this year, a couple of triples, as well as a double, make that 2 now on the season. Nonetheless, Stone, I think, shocked that the ball flew so far off the bat of Perrin, had to just turn and run, and I think overran the ball a little bit. So he turned around and just in time to get his glove up, however, tipped off the edge of it, and a deserved double there from Curtis Perrin, now putting a runner in scoring position for Jack Johnson. So the third baseman for Gresham coming to the plate, looking to get himself an RBI, cut into this 5-run deficit as Dondeville places a changeup on the outside corner for strike 1. The 5-run advantage, 7-2. 7 hits for Victoria. 7 as well for Gresham, as they have been able to match them. And that error for the Grey Wolves kind of focused in a little bit on it now in the fourth inning. A ground ball to Curtis Perrin that he threw away up the first baseline, allowed 1 run, and you could argue 2 more to come across. Those unfortunately go against Rylan Luchek. So maybe at this point should be a 4-5, at the very most a 6-2 ball game. Nonetheless, Victoria has been able to capitalize and take advantage of very important runs in this series, especially with Dondeville on the mound. Their ace has been able to settle in. Now the 0-1 on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed there in the dirt. Chase one did Johnson as he's now down on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. And it looks like one bullpen pitcher up in the pen now for Victoria. We'll check on that reliever in just a moment. It's hard to get a good look at that from over in our perch, although it appears to be number 24. Looks like Colin Ashworth, the 6'2" right-hander from Placentia, California. And so now, Dondeville with his sign. 0-2 on the way. Fastball outside corner. Colin Price doesn't pull the trigger, though, as Dondeville again wondering where that pitch missed. And a good take there from Johnson. Although with the way the game has been called, I'm honestly surprised he didn't ring him on that pitch. In the previous inning, he called a couple of balls off the plate that were further than that strikes to Mitchell Jr. along with Drew Curtis. Nonetheless, the at-bat will continue as this 1-2 pitch is sprayed down the right field line foul. And the count remains 1-2 strikes. Jack Johnson just 4 strikeouts this year. A guy that does not go down on strikes very often. And, of course, 13 walks. And that's tied for 4th best on the team. So now Don DeVille, the 1-2 pitch, again, breaking ball outside corner, does not get the call. As Colin Price says it was outside. And it looks like some disgruntlement there from the dugout of Victoria. Greg Merritt, the manager, one of the few Harbor Cats not ejected last night, as there were 3 of them, 2 of them from the coaching staff. Now the 2-2 on the way. Fastball inside, and that's off the hand of Johnson. Looks like he's okay, as that one may have got him on the forearm, in fact. Nonetheless, appears to be all right as he'll take the jog down to first base. Anytime that ball goes up and in, especially around the fingers, it's a little scary for any and all hitters. Nonetheless, that could quite possibly be the last pitch for Austin Dondeville, as his head coach, Merritt, will come out to the mound, taking a long, slow walk. As we'll go back to some of our interesting facts about this day in baseball on July 13th. Now, in 2004, after having earned All-Star MVP award honors as a 23-year-old for pitching 3 perfect innings at the Astrodome in 1986, the 41-year-old Roger Clemens gave up 6 runs in the first inning in the 75th Midsummer Classic played at Houston's Minute Maid Park. The eventual 9-4 American League victory was halted in the top of the 5th as the much really the Rocket, if you want to call him, the Shrine Rocket received the Commissioner's Historic Achievement Award from Bud Selig in recognition of his outstanding 21-year career. I remember that specifically. Albert Pujols had a two-strike slider off him, bomb out beyond the train tracks, as well as hometown favorite Gelta Hada went deep in that game. Of course, my favorite player of all time. I used to play for the Oakland Athletics, so personal connection to this interesting day, 2001, July 13th, throughout baseball history. As we now turn our attention to the field here at Awesome. Greg Merritt in the dugout. Josh Adams at the plate as Dondeville fires the first pitch outside for ball 1. So one out on second. Curtis Perrin on second with that double. His second base hit in the evening, now 4-4. And Jack Johnson reached on a pitch. First time he's been aboard this evening. So now the 1-0 fastball misses low. Dug out of there by Fryer. 2 balls and no strikes here to the Gaucho. Playing left field this evening for Gresham. Josh Adams so far is over 3. Really has been stifled so far by Dondeville. A couple of strikeouts and a ground out to the first baseman as he now takes the ball 3 low. And you got to think after this mound visit from the head coach Merritt, especially if Dondeville would be putting Adams aboard, especially on 4 pitches, you got to think that will be the time to pull the trigger and go to the bullpen. Number 24, Colin Ashworth, ready down there in the pen as the 3-0 on the way. Is a fastball right down the middle. Strike 1. And Ryan Smith awaiting on deck, the always dangerous Ryan Smith. And now with 2 more RBIs after last night, I believe 20 total now on the season. As Dondeville peering in for his sign. Now has it, and the 3-1 on the way. Laced into left center field, giving chase as the left fielder Louts, and he will make the catch on the run. A nice play there by Louts to go and get that ball as he'll play it in. Perrin will have to retreat back to second base, as I think he was going to wonder if he might be able to score there, but nonetheless, a base hit and extra bases taken away by Matt Louts as Josh Adams is out on the F7. So now with 2 outs, it'll be up to Ryan Smith to try and salvage this inning, try and cut into this lead that the Harbor Cats own. 7-2, they have it. Just one of those runs unearned, possibly 2, actually. I'm now receiving word. However, nonetheless, a 5-run advantage, and the Gray Wolves certainly have some work to do. With Ryan Smith coming to the plate against Dondeville, he's going to stay in the ball game here. And the first pitch now on the way is a fastball right there at the knees over the middle of the plate, 0-1. Smith, after doubling in his last at-bat, or rather in his first at-bat, and then coming around to score, has gone a bit cold. Tried a drag bunt in the 5th inning and got a base hit taken away by P.J. Floyd, who barehanded that and made a nice throw over to first base. Nonetheless, the 0-1 pitch here. Fastball misses low and off the plate outside, ball 1. So 1-1 here to Ryan Smith, who's 1 for 3. Although a Webb Gym took away a base hit from him in the 5th, he was able to, well, earlier in the game, he was able to take away a base knock from the DH, Cody Snyder. As now a quick breather taken by Smith as he steps out and back in from the batter's box. He's done that a couple times tonight. Just kind of refocusing up. Hopefully able to use that to his advantage here as Dondeville now fires in the 1-1. Swung on and tapped off the plate. Back foul beyond the dirt here. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Cardinale waiting on deck, trying to find a way to come aboard, as he has reached all 3 times tonight, one of which came on an error, the other which came on a hit by pitch. So Dondeville, this could possibly be his last hitter. Looking to try and finish this one off right. Ryan Smith looking to deliver a route exit. As finally has his sign, kicks and fires this one, laced into center field, more towards the left center field gap. That's going to easily score Perrin from second base. Jack Johnson on his way to third and will have to be held up there as the center fielder Stone will play it in. But nonetheless, Ryan Smith with another 2-out RBI base hit, now cutting into the lead. Now down 4 as they trail 7-3, and that will be the last pitch for Austin Dondeville, as here comes the head coach Greg Merritt for the Victoria Harbor Cats, and we'll take a break during this pitching change here on Gresham Gray Wolves Live. Again, the Gray Wolves, after that run, now have cut into the deficit. They trail 7-3. I'm Evan Giddings. Don't go anywhere.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Gray Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Gray Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Gray Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Gray Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now done with the pitching change, in for Austin Dondeville is number 24, Colin Ashworth, as he'll face the first batter here, Mark Cardinale. Ryan Smith extended this inning with an RBI single with 2 outs. Now the first pitch on the way from Ashworth to Cardinale is a fastball up and outside, 1-0. Ashworth, a 6'2", 175-pound right-hander, a sophomore at Orange Coast College down in Southern California. There's the second pitch now on the way, a breaking pitch that cannot quite catch the bottom of the zone here, 2-0. Making his 8th appearance, does have 1 start, but mainly has been used out of the bullpen. A 1-0 record, a 4.5 ERA through 16 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts to just 7 walks, has allowed 13 hits. It's now the 2-0 on the way to Cardinale. Pops this one up on the infield over the right side. The right fielder Polshek calling for it, and he will make the catch easily to retire the side. And now actually they're going to say that there was interference, I believe. Or we're going to wait for the call. Looked like, or a balk in fact. So a balk right there on Ashford, or rather Colin Ashworth. So that allows each runner to move up and gives Cardinale second life. So a break right there for the Grey Wolves, as that was somewhat of a confusing play. I apologize for the silence. But a balk from Colin Ashford brings in Jack Johnson from third base. The second run played in the inning, and the Grey Wolves climb even closer. Now the score 7-4 with a runner in scoring position, and Cardinale, instead of being down on that pop-out, has an opportunity now in a 2-0 count to get back in this at-bat. So Smith with a large lead on second base. Now this fastball on the way to Cardinale is taken inside, ball 3. So 3-0 here to Cardinale. As Ashworth just looking to get in the strike zone here. Has not officially thrown a strike, although did unofficially get that pop out and now misses low here for ball 4. 4 in a row tossed to Mark Cardinale as he earns his second free base of the evening. This one on balls. Of course, the last one he was hit by a pitch back in the third, and that will bring Jeff Mitchell Jr. to the plate. Mitchell Jr. reached on a single back in the third. That's his only base hit. Also reached in the fifth, however, came on the error from the first baseman, Ben Polshek. Also stole his 11th base of the season. And really an undervalued part of Mitchell Jr.'s game, I believe, his ability to make things happen on the base pass. As now we'll try and get it together with the bat here as he takes ball 1 low, 1-0. So I would assume Mitchell Jr., a very patient hitter and a very experienced hitter, can at least wait for a strike in this situation as he now takes ball 2. That's 5 in a row. Make that 6, actually. 6 balls thrown in a row since entering the ball game from Colin Ashworth, and there's going to be some action now brewing down to the Harbor Cats bullpen, trying to get it accelerated a little bit as it looks like number 27, Greg Casper, will begin to start throwing. 2-0 pitch on the way to Mitchell Jr. Finally in the zone is Ashworth as he puts a fastball right down the heart of the plate. And now Mitchell Jr. will go to work here with 2 outs. So Perrin and Johnson have already scored this inning. Ryan Smith on second base and Mark Cardinale on first. Now Ashworth kicks and fires. This one roped into left field, but right at the left fielder, Matt Lautz has to take just one step back and make the catch. A loud third out to the end of this 6th inning. But nonetheless, the Grey Wolves chip back into the lead. They're able to plate 2 after a double by Perrin leads it off. Johnson's hit by a pitch, an RBI single from Ryan Smith, and a balk brings in 2 runs for the Grey Wolves as we head to the 7th inning here at Osland Field. 2, 3, 4, Anderchuk, Polshuk, and Stone coming up when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. Again, the score, the Grey Wolves trail now 7-4.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
And so now we're ready to begin the 7th here in a matchup between the Victoria Harbor Cats and the Gresham Grey Wolves, the second of this 3-game series. The Grey Wolves took the first one last night, 9-8. So far tonight, however, trail 7-4. They're able to chip into the lead in the previous inning, the bottom of the 6th. We're able to get 2 runs and get back in this ball game. Hopefully, as that end of the streak, they put up 3 zeros in a row. Of course, scored in the bottom of the 2nd. Able to bring in 2 runs, and now 2 more here in the bottom of the 6th, hoping for a big shutdown inning from Chris Brown back out for his 3rd inning of work. Had an excellent 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 6th and was able to minimize the damage in the 5th. Did allow 1 run after a leadoff double, but that was all they got. So Chris Brown so far has given his offense an opportunity to get back in this ball game, and that's something that we spoke about with Carter Book, who was up here in the booth in the 2nd inning. As now a changeup misses low and outside here to the leadoff hitter, Anderchuk, 1-0. Book spoke about kind of the mentality of coming out of the bullpen. When he pitched at Linfield College, he was primarily used as a starter. However, the mentality had to change coming out of the bullpen, being ready at any time, as now this curveball misses somewhere. And a bit puzzled is there by Chris Brown. I'm sure the rest of the stadium is too. That one appeared to be right down the pipe. Nonetheless called for ball 2 as Chris Brown's got to refocus up here. So now the left-hander has this sign from the windup, and the pitch, 2-0. Fly ball out to right field, and a couple steps back there for Mitchell Jr. as he will make the catch for the first out. So a good job there to not let that non-strike call affect him and get back in the zone there to get out number 1. And so actually Book and Brown in somewhat similar situations in that Book was a starter at Linfield College, and this left-hander, Chris Brown, actually was a starter earlier in the season for the Grey Wolves. Book has been used a total of 13 times out of the pen, so has really been one of the go-to guys in any type of situation from the relievers for Justin Barkas, as now a curveball gets over the inside edge, strike 1. However, Chris Brown, once realizing, Justin Barkas realizing that Chris Brown not really kind of fit for that starting rotation, used him in the bullpen, has been much more effective here as he gets a swing and a miss on a changeup on the outside edge, 0-2. For the majority of this evening has been consistently in the strike zone, has allowed just 1 hit. Unfortunately, that run did come around to score. Rather, that hit ended up coming around to score in the form of Jake Stone, who waits on deck. But now the 0-2 pitch on the way here to Polshek, swung on and missed. Cairo dug that one out of the dirt, applies the tag, and that's strike 3 as Ben Polshek goes down on strikes. The first K for Chris Brown. Number 11 on the season, through now his 17-plus innings of work, as that will bring Jake Stone to the plate, an opportunity to retire the side in turn. 1-2-3, he went in the 6th, and now an opportunity to do it in the 7th as he misses just outside with a fastball there, 1-0. In fact, he's retired now 8 in a row since giving up that double. After Jake Stone led off, a ground ball was able to move him over to third, and then a sacrifice fly brought him in. Of course, that was a great play made there by Ryan Smith as Brown bends a strike right there on the outside corner. So 1-1 here to Stone. However, since that point, got a fly out, a line out there from Gabor on a nice play, in fact, by Mitchell Jr. to begin the 6th inning as he misses outside with another breaking ball, 2-1. Got another soft line drive out to Curtis Perrin. Over on the right side, another ground out, fly out and a strikeout to begin this inning as this one is laced over to the right side. Diving play by Perrin, and he cannot keep it in front of him. Just gets under the glove there into right field. So I feel a little bad in the sense that I felt like I kind of jinxed Chris Brown there, just talking about how he retired 8 in a row. And, of course, goes and gives up a single. But nonetheless, with 2 outs and just a runner on first base, an opportunity for Brown to still get out of this inning unscathed, which is the most important part to get this offense for Gresham back in the dugout. After putting up 2 in that last inning, this could be a big shutdown inning here for Chris Brown as Joe Pryor will come to the plate. 2 for 3, a couple of base knocks, a single and a double, as well as a run scored. Now with 2 outs, Brown will be in the stretch for the first time since that first inning he came in, and the first pitch on the way is a wild pitch. A changeup gets right in between the legs there of Matt Cairo, and it is a wild pitch right through the 5-hole. Not something that is generally supposed to happen, although Cairo has been pretty good at blocking balls so far this season, and really that's been the reason he's stayed in the lineup. A strong arm, has thrown out, I believe, 5 runners so far this season. Has also done a good job of keeping the ball in front. So now the 1-0 on the way. And this is a soft line drive into shallow right field that's sinking. Mitchell Jr. will pick it up on the hop. He'll try to go to home as they're going to send the runner, and it is cut off. Drew Curtis going to run the base runner back to first base, and that's Joe Pryor. But nonetheless, the wild pitch does come back to hurt as Pryor delivers an RBI single with 2 outs to get the Harbor Cats back on the board. They extend the lead now to 4 as it's 8-4 here in the top of the 7th. You shouldn't have opened my mouth.
Number 10, Cody Snyder.
Nonetheless, Stone delivers a base hit, advances to second, and Pryor clutches up with a soft line drive. It was a good pitch by Brown, a changeup on the outside edge, but Pryor able to get extended, able to use his hands to kind of flip that one into shallow right field. And so now it appears like we're going to have a pinch hitter for number 10, Cody Snyder, in the designated hitters area, and that's an area that we do see typically be moved around throughout the ball game. And it's going to be number 30, A.J. Alcantara, who was unable to start this game due to migraine and headache issues, but in similar fashion to last night, is able to pinch hit in a situation where his team needs a little offense off the bench. So Alcantara coming into the series was the best hitter for Victoria, batting an even .350 until Matt Lautz kind of overtook him in the first series, the first game, I should say, of the series, gathering 2 hits. His average now up to .361, but .350 not bad through now 19 games. Just a couple of those appearances, I believe 2. So a total of 17 starts as with 2 outs. He'll now send a deep fly ball out to center field, but Ryan Smith is able to get under it, making the over-shoulder catch right in front of the warning track. A nice play there made look easy by Ryan Smith that will retire the side. Victoria does strike for 1 as after back-to-back singles from Stone and Pryor, they now have the lead 8-4 as we head to the bottom of the 7th at Osland Field. Curtis, Cairo, and Doherty do up when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Live.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Calling all the action, home and away.
And so now we head to the bottom of the 7th with the Grey Wolves have a bit of work to do. Down 4, 8-4 here to begin this bottom of the 7th inning. Drew Curtis will be coming to the plate for the Grey Wolves as he is 1 for 2 tonight. A single, an RBI single in the 2nd inning. Also drew a walk as well as a strikeout.
Number 21.
So Drew Curtis kind of lifting that offensive struggle off his back that had kind of been following him for at least the past couple of weeks. So good to see him get back in the lineup. And I can remember after coming off the bench in the last homestand, he pinch hit at a game, swung at the first pitch, ended up breaking his bat, ground out to first, and was a part of a Grey Wolf loss. And I know he's very hard on himself after that particular performance. So it's good to see him get back in the hit column here, as he nearly got another one there, but laced that one back off the screen, just missing a fastball for strike one. And so Colin Ashworth back out on the bump for Victoria. His second inning of work came on midway through that previous inning, and now gets a swing and a miss here from Curtis, way out in front of that breaking pitch, and it's quickly 0-2. So now Curtis needing to shorten up here in this situation. Defense playing him straight up. Catcher set up outside. Fastball misses low and outside. 1-2. And the one area I think that this pitching staff has been good for Victoria, especially with runners on base, and maybe it's a testament to their pitching coach and their staff in general and their selection of pitchers, as Curtis now sends a chopper over the shortstop, Jew. He'll pick it up on one hop and fire a strike over to first base. Barely staying on the bag is Ben Polshuk, but able to keep that back toe on top of the bag for the first out of this inning. Or first out of the bottom of the seventh inning, I should say. But nonetheless, with two strikes, it appears like these Harbor Cats pitchers are doing a great job of not only hitting their spots, but expanding the strike zone, forcing the Grey Wolves hitters, especially with the amount of movement they have, particularly with the usage of curveballs, as K-Roll will come to the plate. And now first pitch swings through a fastball up and in for strike one. Their particular usage of breaking pitches, and at least for Dondeville as well as Ashworth, their curveballs have really good late movement. And I think that's been a bit of a struggle to pick up for the Grey Wolves, especially as night has fallen over Osland Field. Officially no sunlight bearing down, as K-Roll will pop this one up into shallow center field. Oncoming the center fielder Stone, and he will make the catch for the second out. So something about that expansion of the strike zone the Grey Wolves are having trouble with. And especially with two strikes, Victoria's done a great job at making the Grey Wolves hit their pitch. And generally they've been able, at least now in the latter part of the game, to be able to get ahead in the count. Whereas I think that's where they struggled early on in the game, probably the reason that Dondeville ended up giving up those two runs. So now Doherty will come to the plate with two outs, and now laces this one into the gap, not wasting any time, but getting over to the center fielder, Jake Stone, to make the catch on the run. I thought he didn't even have a chance at that, but was able to come all the way from where he was shaded in right center field to make the catch on a fly ball that hung up just a bit too long off the bat of Doherty. So nonetheless, 1-2-3, the Grey Wolves go to conclude the seventh. We'll head to the eighth with Tommy Jew, Austin Gabor, and P.J. Floyd coming to the plate. The bottom of the order for the Harbor Cats as we take a break here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live. I'm Evan Giddings, and the Grey Wolves trail 8-4.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
And so now we are set to begin the eighth inning here at Osland Field. Evan Giddings bringing you Gresham Grey Wolves baseball, as Chris Brown is back out for his fourth inning of work against the Victoria Harbor Cats, who hold a 8-4 lead over the Gresham Grey Wolves. So far, at least on the offensive side in these last couple innings, the Grey Wolves have been held quiet, able to pick up 2 runs in the sixth, but besides that, 1, 2, 3 in the seventh, apart from a couple of errors quietly in the fifth, and just 1 hit in the fourth and third. or rather the third inning was the inning where they shredded the bases loaded with 2 outs. So a total of 9 runners left on base, and that's been the story of the night for Gresham. The inability to execute, especially with 2 outs, as the first pitch now on the way to Jew is peppered back off the screen here for strike 1. Tommy Jew, the shortstop for Victoria, 1 for 4, or rather 1 for 3, excuse me, as he's now in his 4th at-bat. A base knock there in the 4th, and up coming around to score as well, as the second pitch is now laced into center field. Incoming Smith, but we'll have to let it drop. Top spin a little too much on that line drive for Jew, as he'll have himself a single, second one of the evening. And now we'll give way to Gabor. These leadoff hitters for Victoria have been able to find themselves on base relatively frequently, and they've been able to take advantage of that by ending up bringing those runners around. In the 5th and the 4th, both runners reached to lead off those innings on extra base hits. Stone and Pryor both doubles, as now Gabor will step to the plate. And both of those runs came around to score. In fact, Gabor in the 3rd inning led off with a single, and he came around to score as well. So the key to stopping this offense for Victoria essentially has been that leadoff man, is now a strike from a curveball here from Brown. Catches the inside edge. Total of 8 runs tonight on 10 hits, as they have officially now cracked the double-digit margin. And 2 errors for Victoria, just 1 for Gresham, although Gresham not being able to take advantage of those 2. The complete opposite, as now the runner's picked off. Drew Curtis down throw to second base, and it is not in time as Tommy Jew went on first movement. Brown picked off over to first, but Jew was already off and running. A speedster collecting a swipe bag right there. And that is, in fact, is just his 3rd stolen base of the season, although Jew kind of came on a bit late, sort of a late addition in the way that Josh Adams was for the Grey Wolves, coming on about a week, or rather 2.5 weeks ago. So he swipes his 3rd bag of the season. The 0-1 pitch now on the way. A drag bunt attempt here by the left-hander Gabor. He'll pick up by Cairo, and he sails it down the right field line. That's going to get down near the ivy out there, as Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. and Curtis Perrin have to chase it all the way into the corner. The runner's going to easily get to 3rd. They're going to have to hold him up there as the throw will come in to the shortstop Doherty. But a sacrifice bunt attempt gone completely wrong for the Grey Wolves, as Cairo sails one down the right field line, and that's going to go as an E2, maybe the most costly one this evening, as they also score a run on the play and extend the lead now to 5, 9-4 in favor of Victoria. So Jew comes around to score. Would have easily scored from first base regardless, but Gabor essentially with a Little League triple there, as he gets the sacrifice bunt. Not the RBI, however, as the run came in on an error. So now P.J. Floyd will step to the plate. He's 1 for 3. 2 RBI triple back in the 4th, as well as a run scored, as well as a line out and a backwards K. So that run obviously going to be unearned on 3rd base, as this one is swung on and missed. Nice change up there from Brown, as he's trying to do all he can. Now the 2nd error for Gresham, and both of those have been costly, producing runs for the Harbor Cats, which, I mean, their offense really speaks for itself. And a .287 batting average to begin the second half, but in the first half they were a top-notch team, as now this one sprayed down the 3rd base line past the glove of Jack Johnson. Going to get into the corner as Adams will pick it up, throws it over to second base and sails it into right field. The first baseman Curtis has it, will pick it up, go to 3rd, but not nearly in time, as P.J. Floyd advances to 3rd base on the E7. So an RBI double there for Floyd. He advances to 3rd base on the error from Josh Adams, a throwing error, and that will bring in Gabor. Now 10-4, the Harbor Cats lead it. As things begin to unravel here for the Grey Wolves defensively, they've been so smooth up until this point in this series. Did have a couple of errors last night, but none that hurt them, as now Ian Sanderson, the pitching coach, will head out to the mound, have a quick word with Chris Brown, just trying to probably settle him down at this point and not really let him know, or I should say let him know that this is not really his fault. And in the meantime, a couple more interesting facts about this day in baseball. So in 1991, at Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, And for the record, I believe the greatest Coliseum in the history of the world. 4 Orioles hurlers combined to throw a no-hitter, blanking the A's 2-0. Starting pitcher Bob Milacki held the home team hitless for the first 6 innings, followed by Mike Flanagan, Mark Williamson, and Greg Olson, who all threw 1 inning of no-hit ball. And that's actually relevant because last night for the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes, of course, Jerry Walker as well as Lisa Walker, the owners of the Gray Wolves, as well as the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes, the Volcanoes nearly had themselves a combined no-hitter. It was up into the 9th inning when I believe their opponent, which escapes me at the time, the Spokane Indians, in fact, there we go. So the Spokane Indians broke it up in the 9th inning as now Sanderson is back in the dugout. We're set to resume play, but the Volcanoes nearly had themselves a combined no-hitter as well. So this day in baseball, hitting on multiple points in terms of its relevance. So now the first pitch on the way here to the leadoff hitter, Matt Lautz, is a curveball low in the dirt for ball 1. As the runner on third now in the form of P.J. Floyd. 2 runs already across this inning, still just nobody out. As this one, a fly ball into shallow left field. Incoming Adams will make the underhand catch, throws it in right to the chest of Johnson, the cutoff man, and so cut it off. And P.J. Floyd will have to hold at third base as that's the first out of this top of the 8th. So an unproductive pop out there from Lautz as now Anderchuk will come to plate. As he's 1 for 3. Sacrifice fly in the 4th. Walked in the 3rd. Or rather 0 for 2, excuse me. As he has a ground out as well as a fly out. So now Chris Brown, not necessarily a strikeout pitcher, but definitely could be hoping for one in this situation as after the Gray Wolves strike for 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning, this one a ground ball over the left side, gonna bring the run in. Johnson will concede it and go over to first base to get the runner in time. So there's 2 outs, but the run does come in to score off the RBI ground out from Griffin Anderchuk. P.J. Floyd comes in, the 3rd run of the inning, and now an 11-4 lead in favor of the Victoria Harbor Cats. And 11-11 up on that board, 11 runs and 11 hits. But the number that pops out to me the most comes on the Gray Wolves side, a 3 in the E column. 2 of which have come this inning, one of which Cairo's throw that went over the first baseman Drew Curtis into the right field corner. Probably the most costly at this point, as now Polshuk will come to the plate and takes a fastball that misses outside 1-0. Polshuk, I believe the only batter in the Harbor Cats lineup so far that has not reached base. A pop out, ground out as well as a strikeout, although did hit a sacrifice fly back in the 3rd, so has not reached base as he takes ball 2 outside. Polshuk, of course, reinserted into the lineup and one of the main starters for the Victoria Harbor Cats, hitting .310 coming into play, has really been a mainstay in the middle of their order as the 2-0 here swung on and missed. Chris Brown might have reached back for a little more gas on that one and blew it by him on the inside half for strike 1. And so after there's so much life, enthusiasm, and energy here at Osland Field has been relatively drained as now Brown misses outside 3-1. Of course, as we approach 10 o'clock, still 13 minutes away, however, but evidently near bedtime for a lot of these children out here at the ballpark. It's kind of filtered out. Now the 3-1 on the way, a fastball right there on the inside corner for strike 2. Kind of unfortunate as that was the majority here at the ballpark. A lot of the kids kind of taking their parents with them. It's now a full count here from Brown to Polshuk. Now call for time at home plate as Polshuk will step out, take a breather. Now back in the box as Brown has his sign. From the windup, kicks and fires as this one is tapped over to the left, right in front of the Gray Wolves dugout. Going to be collected there by Carter Book, who was a guest up in here in the 2nd inning. Actually had a really pleasant interview with Carter, a nice guy. Competed against him in college, in fact, as I pitched for Willamette University, our rival, Linfield College, both Division III baseball programs. Now the 3-2 pitch again on the way. Fastball low in the dirt for ball 4. So I was able to talk to him about a multitude of things. His experience at Linfield College. I didn't play under Scott Brocious. This is something I found out about Carter today. In fact, transferred in, went to Wisconsin, or Concordia in Wisconsin, along with Grey Wolf teammate Spud Heidemann his freshman year, and then transferred into Linfield College for his sophomore season. So didn't get to be under the tutelage of Scott Brocious, although their team had a relatively good season. Finished, I believe, in 5th place, so just out of the playoffs. Is now the first pitch on the way to the left-hander Stone, is a fastball that misses in. Back Stone out of the box there for ball 1. Also, we talked about the mentality of him as a reliever, along with really the overarching change in the attitude as well as the confidence of this Gresham Grey Wolf team. Is now Stone swings. Runner was off on that pitch, but will have to retreat back to first base, as that'll go for strike 1. Polshuk thought he had that base, and he just might have. Although not many stolen bases for Polshuk. Just 5 on the young season, so actually maybe some deceptive speed there. Although second on the team. So the Harbor Cats not a team that really steals bases as much as the Grey Wolves. Now a slick pickoff attempt there by Brown. We've already seen him get 1 runner on the move. And that was Tommy Jew. Unfortunately, Curtis, the throw from Curtis from first to shortstop was not in time, as Jew was he was going on first movement. It's now another pickoff attempt, but no tag there from Curtis, as Polshuk is in without even a head-first slide. So 2 outs, 3 runs have already come across, and Brown looking to stop the bleeding right here, keep that runner at first base, get his team back in the dugout. Hopefully get together some life, as now the runner's on the move. Throw down to second base from Cairo, and it is not nearly in time. Polshuk swiping, check that, in fact, his 7th bag of the season. Now tied for the team lead with Jerron Silva. So multiple tools there flash from Ben Polshuk, as at least according to the statistics, we've seen him being able to hit the long ball, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, driving in runs, and also flashing the ability to swipe bases, as now a curveball bends in for a strike on the inside edge here to Jake Stone. Now the count 2-2. Strong throw there from Cairo, but Brown not necessarily the quickest to the plate. Also, I believe, was an off-speed pitch, so both factors working against him, as Polshuk was able to take second. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way here. Fastball can't quite catch the inside edge. Also might have been a tad high, as that'll run the count full. As Stone so far this season, he's actually making his 20th appearance. Joined 6 other members of the Harbor Cats. Anderchuk, Snyder, Snyder, Silva, along with Pryor. And Matt Smith at 19 as well. He made his 19th start last night. And so now Stone joining the 20 club, batting .288, 17 hits, 10 runs scored, a home run, and 11 RBIs. So a long peer in from Brown. There's now the payoff pitch on the way. Breaking ball tapped over to the left side, going to get foul. I thought that one might have had a chance. Nonetheless, squirts out of play here, and we'll do it over. 3-2. Brown lost Ben Polshuk, the previous batter, now on second base in a full count. In fact, the same situation as the 7th pitch of the at-bat on the way. So Brown a long peer in again, taking his time out there. Definitely want to make sure that this pitch is exactly what he wants. After now shaking a couple times, he'll step off the rubber. Also picking up some signs from the third base coach's Stone as he now steps back in the box. Brown back on the rubber, toes it from the first base side. 3-2 pitch now on the way. Another breaking ball, soft pop-up over down the third base line. We'll see who's going to make the play as Johnson sort of stumbling to it and then falling, but still able to make the catch. Jack Johnson, a nice play fighting that tough pop-up down into the iron triangle area. Nonetheless, ends the 8th inning, or the top of the 8th, as we head to the bottom half of the frame. It'll be Perrin, Johnson, and Adams, 2-3-4 coming up for the Grey Wolves when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
So now we come back to you here in the bottom of the 8th with the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for the Gresham Grey Wolves. Curtis Perrin to the plate as he's 2 for 4. A double in his last at-bat, came around to score, in fact, and that was at the point where the Grey Wolves drew within 3. However, now after that last top of the 8th inning, are now down 7 as Curtis Perrin takes the first pitch fastball in for a strike, 0-1. The Harbor Cats ended up plating 3, utilizing 2 errors gifted to them by the Grey Wolves, as now another strike on a fastball on the outside edge. Perrin makes it 0-2. Already has a couple strikeouts tonight, which is very un-Perrin-like, as the 0-2 now roped into deep right center field. Giving chase is Gabor, and he will not be able to make the catch. That one is down off the Police Officers Association sign. Perrin's going to hustle for 3. Throw coming in, and they will not be able to relay it in time as Perrin is in with a foot-first slide and a triple here to begin the bottom of the 8th. Don't look now, but Curtis Perrin is a home run away from the cycle. Not sure if he's going to be able to muscle one out of here at this point. It is in the 8th inning, but nonetheless, 3 parts of the cycle here for Curtis Perrin tonight, and most importantly, 3 base knocks, an opportunity to possibly spark something here in the late innings. Down 7 as they gave up 3 in the top of the 8th. And now with Jack Johnson coming to the plate, and an opportunity for, at the very least, to get 1 runner in from third. Looks like also some pinch hitters beginning to warm up down there in the bullpen for the Grey Wolves, so could possibly see some switches in the lineup as now Johnson takes a fastball here up and in, ball 1. Colin Ashworth still on the mound for Victoria, as he came in the end of the 6th inning and now bends a curveball in on the inside part of the plate for strike 1. And it's interesting, at least looking through Ashworth's stats, the only start he had, because he's been primarily used out of the bullpen now in his 6th appearance out of the pen, or check that, make that 7 now. Total of 8 appearances, 1 of them starts as he now misses low here, 2-1. Back on June 8th in Ashworth's only start, went 7 innings, only allowed 2 earned runs and 5 hits against with the Wenatchee Apple Sox in a 12-4 victory. Only walked 1 and 6 strikeouts for the right-hander as he now places a curveball nicely on the outside edge for strike 2 to even the count. So 6 Ks through 7 innings, only 5 hits, 1 walk. That's a sub-1 whip right there, and a great outing for any pitcher, especially collecting the win. And I believe that was a part of that 19-game streak put on by the Victoria Harbor Cats. So now 2-2 pitch right here on the way to Johnson. Breaking ball fought off over and out of play to the right here. We'll do it again. Yet since then, he's been coming out of the bullpen, so maybe some additions at that point. That was still early on in the season. Again, June 8th is back when he got his first start. I believe that first home series as well. But since then, on June 14th, 27th, 29th, July 1st, and 10th, and now tonight on the 13th, has seen him come out of the bullpen every single time as Johnson now pops this one up in a shallow left field. I don't think this one is going to be deep enough to get the runner in, as Louts will make the catch and just lob the ball in there to the third baseman, Floyd. Not even an attempt or bluff made by Perrin, as Johnson will head back to the dugout, shaking his head, a bit frustrated with that at bat. So nonetheless, an opportunity now for Josh Adams. So he'll come to the plate. Robbed in his last at bat, hit a deep fly ball out to left field. Hawked on the run there by Matt Louts, as he's 0 for 4. And Adams, at this point, is looking to find a way on base. However, Perrin on third is the first pitch on the way to Adams, is a curveball that misses high and outside there, ball 1. Perrin on third, the only member of the Gray Wolves with 3 hits. As the only other member with multiple hits is Ryan Smith. He awaits on deck. 1-0 pitch now on the way. Another backdoor breaking ball that misses outside, 2-0. As even with the lead of 7 runs, still being very careful with a dangerous bat, Josh Adams. The Harbor Cats relievers, the pitching staff in general, just does not seem to give in no matter what. Now we've seen them in a couple of blowouts. Only one handed out to the Gray Wolves. That was when they were up in Victoria back in early June, as he now misses again outside with an off-speed pitch, 3-0. I was talking to Barkis about that series yesterday, and he said, you know, the team competed in the first 2 games of the series, lost by less than 2 runs each time, and I believe one was a 2-0 shutout. However, in the third game, they lost 9-5 and kind of let it get away from them in the later innings. As now the 3-0 swinging is Adams pops this one up on the infield, as the shortstop Jew will range now out a couple feet onto the grass and make the catch for the second out. So after a leadoff triple, nothing doing for Gresham. There's a couple of pop outs into the shallows of left and now left center field. Have them with 2 outs and a runner on third. They may not even get this run in at this point. However, when Ryan Smith coming to the plate, anytime they've needed a 2-out RBI, which is what they're in a dire situation right now, he's been able to provide one. 2-out RBI single back in the 6th. Also with a double and a run scored in the 2nd inning. So he's got 2 base knocks. And now Ashworth takes a curveball in for a strike, 0-1. And now this one, a ground ball over to the left side. Jew has it on the backhand, picks it up, fires it on to first base just in time to get the speedy Smith and retire to the side. So we will head to the 9th inning here at Osland Field. Do it for the Harbor Cats. It's Pryor, and whoever's hitting in the DH spot was previously Alcantara, followed by Jew. When we return here on Gresham Gray Wolves Baseball Live, 11-4 in favor of the Harbor Cats.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
And so now just about set. Couple of warm-up pitches away here from Chris Bound. Ready to begin the top of the 9th inning is Joe Pryor. And it looks like Alcantara will continue to hit in the DH spot. So Alcantara on deck along with Tommy Jew due up third in this inning. If anyone should reach, it would be Austin Gibor. As Chris Brown back on the mound trying to finish off this game. And it looks like Barkis will have him finish no matter what. Nobody warming up in the bullpen for the Gray Wolves as Brown in this 11-4 advantage held by the Harbor Cats will kind of just have to bite the bullet in this situation. Has already thrown 3+ innings, but is going to get the 9th here as he's being extended a little bit. And maybe Chris Brown trying to prove himself a bit in this situation, an opportunity to show that even down 7 runs, still going to get out there and compete on the bump. As now the first pitch on the way here to Pryor is taken for a strike on the outside edge, 0-1. Brown, who attends University of California, Davis, so UC Davis, as they call it, originally from Pleasant Hill, California, as he fires another ball, fastball this time, low in the dirt, 1-1. Excuse me. Now the third pitch of the at-bat on the way here. Curveball fought off over to the left side. Incoming Johnson bobbles it a bit, but picks it up. Throw on the run in time. A nicely recovered play there from Jack Johnson to complete the 5-3 putout as Joe Pryor is retired to begin this 9th inning. And so now A.J. Alcantara will come to the plate. He's 0 for 1 as he came in for Cody Snyder, who ends the night with a base knock. 2 RBIs, in fact. He had an RBI double in the 4th, a sacrifice fly in the 6th. So he goes 1 for 2. Solid night for a hitter only, as now Alcantara will lace a single into left field, not wasting any time, picking up his first base hit of the series in 3 at-bats, as he also pinch hit last night. So now with a single, bringing Tommy Jew to the plate with a 1 out and a runner on first. Jew's 2 for 4. A couple of base hits as well as a stolen base. That was his 3rd swipe bag of the season, as we'll have a pinch hitter for Alcantara. Looks like number 14. As that is Jerron Silva. We've seen him, at least in the scouting report, a general favorite for Victoria, as well as their head coach, Greg Merritt. So Silva will come in to run. He'll be on first base. We also saw him last night. He pinch hit, went 0 for 1 as Brown now bends a breaking ball that just misses a tad low here to Jew, 1-0. Jew last night, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, really had the hot bat. 2 for 5 with a couple of RBIs, both of those coming on one swing. 2-run home run out to dead center field here at Osland. As this one, another breaking ball misses outside, 2-0. Jew was hot to start the game, had 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats, and then unfortunately for Victoria went cold along with the rest of their offense, as they were able to put up 6 of their 8 runs in the first 2 innings and became a bit stagnant. Allowed the Grey Wolves to get back in the ball game, as now this fastball misses too far outside. In fact, gets away from K-Road there. Going to be a wild pitch as Silva will advance to second base. We'd also like to thank those tuning in from Victoria, along with our own Gresham faithful. As I've heard, they've been here listening in for the last couple of games. Now this one in the favor of the Harbor Cats. A 7-run advantage is now this one popped up over the right by Jew. Going to get out of play, swinging in a 3-0 count. That's something that we've seen Adams for Gresham do twice in the last 2 nights, although both times has popped up. It came in the last inning for Gresham in the bottom of the 8th. He popped up in a shallow left field, caught by the shortstop Jew, who's now at the plate. There's a 3-1 pitch on the way, and fastball that misses a tad high. Looked good on the inside corner, but I guess the height just wasn't quite there, as that'll go down as ball 4. And Jew will head out over to first base, giving way now to Austin Gabor. So Gabor, left-hander, will step in. Last night he was 1 for 3 with a RBI and a walk. Only batting 154 coming into play tonight, so maybe Gabor getting more opportunities with A.J. Alcantara out with that, whether it be migraine or kind of headache, whatever type of illness he has allowed Gabor to get some more playing time. So now the first pitch on the way. fastball laced into center field. Incoming Smith. He will not pick it up as it will drop for a base hit. And Gabor is going to have himself a single to load the bases. So 2 hits now for the Victoria right fielder. Kind of a spot start, and he's been able to do well. He has a total of 3 runs scored as he reached on a sacrifice gone wrong in the last inning. Matt Cairo threw it down the right field line trying to get Gabor out of first base. But now it finds himself on first the old-fashioned way with a single right back up the box. And so now it appears we have a pinch hitter for number 15, P.J. Floyd, as number 11 will come to the plate in the form of Brad Plushkill. So we saw him last night playing in the field as he now takes a first pitch strike here, 0-1. Specifically, Plushkill was playing third base and maybe was not rewarded tonight for his performance last night. Went 0 for 5 and was the only member of the starting lineup for Victoria not to record a hit. Of course, they had 15. As now the second pitch on the way is a changeup low in the dirt, 1-1. Although the fact that his average only dropped down to 290 maybe speaks to the point that Plushkill is a very valued hitter in this order and has performed well throughout the majority of the season, making his 19th appearance now. Like I said, batting 290, 18 hits and 62 at-bats, and he now swings through a changeup, pulled the string right there, did Brown, and it's 1-2. 1 extra base hit in the form of a double. No triples or home runs, but 5 RBIs, 6 walks, although has struck out 10 times. Also a couple stolen bases there for Plushkill. Not necessarily high totals looking through this stolen base margin as Plushkill fights this one off to the right. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. No more than 7 in a tie with Silva as well as Polshuk, who swiped his 7th base earlier this evening. But a total of 51 as it's kind of been scattered throughout. So anyone on this order in terms of position players for Victoria able to get out there and make something happen on the base paths. Is now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fly ball into right field and right center field. Now carrying as Smith will get over there and make the catch. Going to play the ball in, but that will allow a runner to score. Curtis will cut off the throw on the infield, but not before Jerron Silva comes in to score. Now 12-4 in favor of the Harbor Cats. So the pinch hitter there, Plushkill. Bit of a tongue twister there between the two of them. Nonetheless, able to pick up a sacrifice fly. And after not producing much last night, is able to come in 1 at-bat and get a run in. So now that'll turn it over to the top of the order, and Matt Lautz, the left fielder for Victoria, will come to the plate as he's only reached base once. Has been held hitless, though, as he's 0 for 4. So now with 2 outs, Brown into the stretch once again, trying to get out of this inning as he'll fire a strike on the outside edge, 0-1. Waiting on deck looks like another pinch hitter in the place of Griffin Anderchuk. Number 33, which appears to be Cameron Cannon, who we saw last night playing second base, and now Brown misses outside with another fastball here to Lautz, 1-1. Lautz in this past week, talked about this throughout the broadcast, but has been the hottest hitter and really I think has been the key to the top of the order for Victoria as he now smacks this one into left center field, giving Chase Adams over to his left, and he'll settle under it to make the catch. So allowed out there, retires the side, but not before Victoria tacks on one more. So we'll head to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Grey Wolves as Cardinelli, Mitchell Jr., and Drew Curtis all due up when we return here on Gresham Grey Wolves Baseball Live.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Turn a double play with the Gresham Grey Wolves this season by becoming a marketing partner. If you or someone you know would like more information on how to become a marketing partner of the Gresham Grey Wolves during their inaugural season, contact Derek Hargett at 503-890-8827 for more information. Again, that number is 503-890-8827. Your partnership with the Gresham Grey Wolves will be a howlin' time.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham Grey Wolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of.
And so now the start of the bottom of the ninth here at Osland Field for the Grey Wolves. As the first batter, Cardinale, will take a fastball high and outside. Now the second pitch quickly on the way from Ashworth here is a fastball in the outside corner, 1-1. As Ashworth tasked with getting the final 12 plus, so 14 outs here as Cardinale smacks this one into right center field, but going to be over and playable there for Jake Simone. Hit right on the button and tailing towards right center field, but Stone played him perfectly, was able to record the out. One away here in the bottom of the ninth. So now Mitchell Jr. will come to the plate. As it appears like we won't be having any pinch hitters. Drew Curtis, of course, coming out on deck. That was the one position I believed they might pinch hit for. But he'll get the last at bat, as well as Mitchell Jr., who comes in and takes a first pitch fastball off the edge, ball one. Mitchell Jr. so far 1 for 4, singled back in the third as he now takes a curveball way outside there and in the dirt, 2-0. So as this one looks to come to a close, the Grey Wolves, of course, down 8 runs. They trail 12-4 as now Mitchell Jr. will pop this one up over the right side on the infield, now drifting a step into foul territory as the first baseman Polshuck, and he'll make the catch for the second out. So frustration all around there. Just you can even hear Mitchell Jr. from up here in the booth grunted himself. And that's the way it's been all night as Drew Curtis will come to the plate. The last opportunity for the Grey Wolves to try and extend this ball game is, in fact, there is a pinch hitter on deck should the catching position come to the plate. Looks like Will Matheson, number 33, on deck. As the first pitch now on the way to Curtis. He's first pitch swing and caps this one over the right side. The first baseman Polshuck will have it. Flip it on over to the pitcher, Colin Ashworth, and that'll do it for the Gresham Grey Wolves here in the second game of this 3-game series. They lose it at Osland Field as the Victoria Harbor Cats get back in the win column, and Justin Barkis' team has a little bit of work to do here to try and get back in, claim the series in the rubber match tomorrow night at 7:05 here at Osland Field. That's where we'll be here as we quickly recap this ball game for you. The scoring started for Gresham actually in the bottom of the second. They took the lead after back-to-back doubles to lead off the inning. Off the bat of Mark Cardinale and Ryan Smith, and Drew Curtis right field to give them a 2-0 lead. Fast forward to the top of the third, as in the very next frame, Austin Gabor led off with a single. Then after a couple of walks from Lotz and Anderchuk to load the bases with one out, Polshuck hit his sacrifice fly. And then the starting pitcher for the Grey Wolves, Rylan Luchuk, who actually pitched relatively well considering the stat line, unfortunately did not go more than 4 innings, but he ended up getting out of that third. Now the fourth inning is where he had trouble as we go there. At the time, a 2-1 lead for the Grey Wolves. Joe Pryor led off for Victoria with a double down the right field line, followed by a Cody Snyder RBI double out to right center. Then Tommy Juice singled, put runners at the corners for Austin Gabor, who hit a ground ball to the second baseman Curtis Perrin. He dove for it, tried to go to second base to turn 2, then after he realized he didn't have a grip, turned and went to first base and threw the ball away in the dirt. Couldn't be picked by Drew Curtis. That allowed Gabor to reach base and one runner in the form of Snyder to come across. After him, P.J. Floyd delivered the biggest blow of the night, I believe, that really changed the tide a triple down the right field line, 2 RBIs, allowing Gabor as well as Jew to score all the way from first. That put him up 6-2 at the time and essentially put the game out of reach. If we go to the top of the 5th, Jake Stone led off with a double and then reached third after a ground out from Pryor allowed him to move over. And then a sacrifice fly from Snyder. He had 2 RBIs on the night, brought him in. At the time, it was 7-2. Then if we move on to the bottom of the 6th, the Gray Wolves responded a bit and got their closest they had been later in the ball game. Curtis Perrin with 1 out, doubled into center field over the center fielder's head. Then after Jack Johnson was hit by a pitch, Ryan Smith hit a 2-out RBI single into left field to bring in Perrin. After that, Cardinelli, during the at-bat, a run came in. Jack Johnson came in on a wild pitch during the Cardinelli at-bat. Unfortunately was walked, and then Mitchell Jr. ended that frame. So at the time, it was 7-4, very doable, that lead, although striking in the top of the 7th, so right after, essentially, the response innings are really the most important part for the Victoria Harbor Cats offense so far tonight, as they responded in the very next inning in the top of the 7th. Stone with 2 outs reached on a single, and then after a wild pitch allowed him to get to second base. The next batter, Joe Pryor, lofted a low line drive into right field. Mitchell Jr. came up and made the throw to home plate, but the speed of Stone was able to beat the throw, and he scored to make it 8-4. At that point, the Gray Wolves went in turn in the bottom of the 7th, 1-2-3, and that's essentially where the game was lost at this point, because the next inning, the Harbor Cats took advantage of 2 key mistakes from the Gresham Gray Wolves. After Jew led off with a single, he stole second base, and then a sacrifice bunt by Austin Gabor went wrong as Matt Cairo sailed the throw down the right field line into the corner. That allowed Gabor to go all the way to third, and of course Jew to score for the 9th run of the ball game. And then a double from P.J. Floyd brought in Gabor, as the next batter, Polshek, walked, and then a sacrifice fly brought in the 3rd run of that ball game. So at that point, 12-4, relatively out of reach. They ended up, or rather 11-4, tacked on 1 more in the 9th after a single from Alcantara. Pinch ran in the form of Jerron Silva, an RBI single from Austin Gabor. Rather, a single from Gabor brought him to third, and then a sacrifice fly from P.J. Floyd. He had a total of 4 RBIs on the night, an impressive outing for the 9-hole hitter from Victoria. And 1 through 9, Barkas talked about before this series they'd be able to do damage, and that's exactly what they did. 2 hits from Gabor in the 8-hole, 2 more from P.J. Floyd that hurt the most in a double and a triple, as well as a sacrifice fly, 4 RBIs, and that's your ball game. 12-4, the Gresham Gray Wolves fall to the Harbor Cats. We'll be right back out here tomorrow night at Osland Field, 7:05 start time. David Wallum has been scratched from his start for those of you checking in on our website, so we'll try and get that started for you as quickly as possible. However, in terms of the rest of your night, I hope you have a good one. That concludes this broadcast here on Gray Wolves Live. I'm Evan Giddings as the Gray Wolves fall 12-4. Have a great rest of your night.